or text MOM to 440-546-2255. We'd love to help you say,
I love you, Mom.
They want to marry so bad.
From Keys for Kids Ministries, here's Greg Yoder with a Keys for Kids Parent Minute.
Do you have an older son or daughter who's longing to get married but hasn't found the right person yet? Maybe they're discouraged, wondering if something's wrong with them or with God's timing. It's hard to watch our kids struggle with unmet hopes, but this is a great time to remind them that God's delays aren't denials. His plan is always better than ours. Encourage them to trust His timing, grow in their walk with Him, and focus on becoming the kind of spouse they're praying for. Our peace isn't found in a relationship, it's found in Jesus. Let's keep pointing them back to Him. And remember Psalm 37:4, delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart.
Keys for Kids Parent Minute is made possible by listeners like you. Support us online at keysforkids.org.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. Our reading, Steps of Faith, was written by Ann Cetus and read by Rochelle Traub.
4 of us hiked through the beautiful Watkins Glen Gorge in New York. At times, we stood together in awe as we gazed in wonder at waterfalls and 200-foot cliffs. Other times, we had to stop to catch our breath and rest our hurting legs as we climbed wet rocks and endless steps. When we neared the top, a hiker heading back down said, "You've got only 10 steps to go of your 832. Maybe it was best we hadn't known how difficult the journey would be, because we might have stayed back and missed the beauty of it all. The journey of life has difficult steps too. Jesus and Paul warned believers about trouble and persecution, and this requires some perspective. James said in James 1, "Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds." Why pure joy instead of pure agony? God knows, and we know that the testing of our faith produces perseverance. But to what end? So that we may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If we'll stop and look, despite the pain, we may see the beautiful strength of character God is producing in us and those around us. And we'll learn to appreciate the truth that one day we'll receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him. Let's keep climbing together. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
It's Mornings with Brian, live from the North Coast Family Foundation sponsored studio. Whether it's your faith or your health, you don't have to journey alone. WCRF, Cleveland. WVMS, Sandusky. WVML, Millersburg. WVMN, Newcastle. WVME, Meadville. WVMU, Ashtabula. And with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
A federal judge is pausing parts of an executive order issued by President Trump aimed at changing election laws. At 6 o'clock, I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. The judge says Trump doesn't have the authority to require proof of citizenship for voters in federal elections. That ruling maintains that this authority rests with Congress and the states. Memorial services are being planned for Jeremiah Kelly. The 18-year-old was a senior at Avon High School in Lorain County and an early enrollee at the University of Cincinnati. Visitation hours will be held tomorrow from 4 to 7 p.m. at Providence Church in Avon, with the memorial service to take place right after. State officials are warning that most of Pennsylvania is at a high risk for a wildfire. The latest forest fire danger map by the Department of Conservation and Natural Resources shows 61 of the Commonwealth's 67 counties in the high-risk category. In sports, the Pirates were touched by the Angels 4-3. The first round of the NFL draft is in the books. The Browns traded down from 2 to 5 and selected Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. The Steelers selected Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon with the 21st overall pick. Rounds 2 and 3 take place tonight, with the rest of the draft wrapping up Saturday. And big news, the Cavaliers' Evan Mobley was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year yesterday. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. Showers likely, isolated thunderstorms early this morning, then a chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. It's going to be cooler with our highs in the lower 70s. At last check, cloudy skies across most our listening area, 68 in Cleveland, 64 Akron and Canton. Worcester reporting light rain and 61 degrees.
It's time for your Moron Moment.
While the recent Earth Day put some of Ohio's most natural above-ground beauty on display, Ohio Caverns allows visitors to observe the state's hidden beauty. With its deepest point 103 feet underground, this gorgeous destination has the bragging rights of being the deepest cave in Ohio. America's most colorful caverns are filled with crystal stalactites, stalagmites, and other fascinating formations. And that's your Moron Moment.
Moron.
And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 6:03 with Moody Radio News. I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Goody?
I wasn't sure if you were waiting for
Goody,
that
yo?
or.
I was, but
Goody?
here we
It's
are.
always Goody, yo.
Your volume knob's on the soundboard, tough guy. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, live in studio all Friday morning.
Goody, yo. What's Goody, yo?
Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr.
You already know what it is. It's me. The new thing is I'm him. But
Actually,
it's me.
I have a new name for you.
Talk to me.
Last Minute Leonard.
First off, don't do me like that, because anybody that's listening know that is a lie.
Not in our experience.
What y'all know? Wait. Define last minute in y'all experience, because I'm always here before we go on air.
Yeah, before we go on air.
But it's typically
But
like
it's-
5:55.
No, it is not. It is 5:59:05.
So listen.
Here we go.
And today it was 6:05.
Well, today was special. It was a special
Special
occasion.
Okay.
I don't know if that's what I call it.
I got off the highway, 82nd, trying to find an open gas station because I was
Yeah,
looking
it's
for
hard.
I was looking for allergy medicine because I'm going through it.
You're stuffed up.
I'm stuffed up, headached up, allergied up. You know what I'm
Foggy
saying?
eyes.
Foggy eyes.
Foggy
You
brain.
see it. And the only thing that's gonna make me wake up
Oh my God.
is fire emojis in the chat. I want some fire emojis or I'm going to sleep.
We already got 2 people before you were even here, before you were even in the building.
Let's go.
They were sending fire emojis
Which
in
wasn't
the chat.
difficult, by the way.
right.
They
to
weren't
send-
last minute.
No.
No, they were here before you, actually. And yeah, I checked to see if it was you texting fire emojis, and
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't.
did.
No, it wasn't
Different
me.
area code.
Definitely wasn't me. I don't do skateboards, snowboards, or fire emojis. It don't be me.
And is fake Pastor Tanks commenting yet on
here
YouTube?
Yesterday he was commenting ghost emojis.
Oh, we're shifting
We're
things.
growing. We have whales,
We're diversifying our emojis.
snowboards.
If you're
and
new to the
ghosts.
party, Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr., again, is pastor of Reach City Church in
Sure.
Cleveland's Huff neighborhood. And he has an imposter on YouTube.
Sure.
Fake Pastor Tanks is what we call that person, but they just call themselves Pastor Tanks on YouTube.
Correct.
They just call them me.
And they make random comments on our YouTube channel,
Things that make literally no sense.
Very odd.
and they like emojis disconnected to reality.
That would be right. Well, whales.
Used to be
I think
whales.
it's Dee Dee.
My wife is asleep. I promise
No,
you
I think
she's
it is
asleep.
because she's trying to play a prank on you.
It is not Dee Dee.
She's impersonating you
I promise you, it's not Dee Dee.
and made you look weird for a long time until we discovered it wasn't you.
Till y'all discover, till you deal with people have to do in this life, and that is not make assumptions about people, but just simply go and ask a person a simple question. Hey, are you doing fire emojis or skateboard emojis? No, thank you for telling me that, because for the last 6 months I thought you were on YouTube making pranks
Yeah,
at
we
us.
thought you were being weird.
Yeah, we did.
And
We
because
really
y'all
did.
had the boldness to confront your whatever, you were able to get truth and wisdom.
That's
is
the allergies
vindicated.
talking.
And speaking of allergies, Ron missed the bold declaration, which I'm anxious to get Ron's response to this.
Okay.
He said, guys, I'm late because he didn't say he's late. He said, I've never been late.
Never been late. That's a reality.
So he said, I had to pull off and get the allergy meds, and they didn't have what I need because only name brand works for me.
I've heard people like that.
Only name brand allergy medication. Same ingredient.
No, it's not.
Sometimes it's actually the same product. They just package it differently.
It's not.
'Cause they have a surplus.
Ron, I don't think has ever bought name brand anything.
Does it work?
I have before, but
Once.
yeah,
You were
not
required by
typical.
Dana?
If the price is close, I'll go that way.
The price is right.
But typically, you're going to pay an extra $1.50 for the marketing
So true.
of that brand name. And
No.
I don't need
extra
it.
MG. You get an extra MG with it.
If it works, it might be placebo effect, but if it works, more power to you.
I promise you the generic allergy pills do nothing for me. But if I pop a Zyrtex, I'm good for 24 hours.
That's wild. Yeah, well, you know what? Some people are
You've
just
trained your body.
high
Maybe
class.
that's what it is.
You only want the high quality stuff.
No, don't do me like that.
Are you cereal too? Like your name brand cereal? You will not do generic cereal?
When I was
Look at
a
you. Don't want to
child
say
in
it.
poverty, and my parents bought it. But as an adult, no, we get the regular Fruity Pebbles and Cocoa Pebbles and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
The Post.
Yeah, But that's not because I think the other's nasty. It's
Well,
I don't know why. I don't know. I don't go grocery shopping.
I think the easier question to answer would be: do you do anything generic, or are you all top shelf? You're all high class.
do you get Fruit Loops or do you get colorful O's?
I get Fruit Loops. Colorful O's is no.
I actually work hard to find the generic at Walmart. I go and my kids are not going to be eating expensive stuff.
But it's not even about. First off, I don't grocery shop. Second off, I'm lazy. If I am grocery shopping, I don't have time to look for
around.
the
You're just grabbing it.
I know. I'm just grabbing the first one I see. It's more about being lazy than it is about being bougie.
At least that's what you want the word to be on the radio.
Yeah. Oh, we're not allowed to say that word.
What?
No, you can say that.
You can say it.
Oh, I'm like, y'all got to give me the rules.
He's always scared. He's always scared he said something he should say.
Yeah, he is.
And he'll get scared after he says it.
After I say it.
Was I allowed to say that?
Or he'll get scared pre and he's like, "Can I say this? I don't know.
We don't know what you're about to say.
I don't know what you're going to say."
Radio's
Pre-scared.
different. You're not allowed to say certain stuff. I'm learning.
So true.
Now, Pastor Tanks, you had your first golf outing of the season.
Yeah.
Is that why we're having an allergy problem?
I think it's because it was 2 days in a row. Yeah.
2 days in a row golfing. Are you okay? Should we pray for you? Maybe we have some sad violin music.
Well,
Poor guy.
Day one was I went out with my kids. So it was like,
look at you looking at me like
it
wasn't really good golfing.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I had to wake up in the morning and run it back by me.
Try it again.
With just me. And that was cool. For the first time in my life, I seen something that I've never seen in 4 years of golfing.
Wait, hold on. You had to golf 2 days in a row.
But listen, the music's about to go with the story.
Oh, good. Okay.
For the first time in my life, I've seen something that I haven't seen in 4 years of golfing. I seen a man on the golf course.
Oh, my
with
gosh.
a baby stroller inside of the golf cart. Golfing with me.
How did he get the stroller in the cart?
He just set it in there. And and here's the music. Here's the beauty of it all. He was a good golfer, and the baby never cried. 18 holes, the baby never cried.
Did you check for a pulse?
Yeah, he was talking to the baby. You hear the baby over there saying, "Da, da," and stuff. Never cried. And I said...
Can you imagine, Lauren?
No. I've got 2 chatty guys.
I looked at him and I said, first off, I've never seen this in my life. Even the starter was like, I'm trying to figure out, am I allowed to let this happen? It's like, But it was a beautiful time. And at the end of it all, he said the famous, "What do you do?" And I said, well, since you asked, I'm a pastor. Hey! And it is April. And I want to invite you to friends and family with us. Well, I've never really been to church. I grew up Catholic. I didn't really do my whole thing, da-da-da-da-da. And I said, well, listen, no pressure, my brother. Man, but you've been hanging out with me all day. I'm a pretty cool guy. He's like, yeah. I was like, well, listen, man, anytime. Man, we have 5300 St. Clair Avenue, and it has happened to be Friends and Family Month. And I have a seat for you.
I'm just trying to figure out the mystery of... Like, I'm not a golfer, but I didn't think they would put you in a cart with a total stranger that had a baby.
No, I wasn't in his cart. That would be weird. We would have been sitting next to each other, like on top of each other.
That's what you made it sound like, though.
No, when you go out and you can go out in pairs of 4.
Brian doesn't golf.
Oh, Brian doesn't.
Like they force you to golf with strangers.
Oh, Brian's absolutely not golfing.
Well, they definitely don't. They don't force because you can set your. But yeah, like if you had a busy course, you're going out with strangers. But that's the beauty of like being a Christian. Like I want to be on a court with strangers. That's 18 holes that we get to build relationships with.
And it worked for you. You built a
well,
relationship.
this golf period. If you become a golfer ever in life, Brian, you'll realize that some of the greatest business deals. Yeah, I'll just say that actually.
Well, again,
because he doesn't have anything else.
I don't have another word, but
no one's surprised I don't golf. Then
happens on the golf course. It's crazy the type of people you meet, all walks of life on golf courses.
Okay.
Literally, I met people that know you on golf course.
Really?
Yeah. His name was Scott, and not Pastor Scott.
I was gonna say Scott Lessing.
Scott Cruz.
I don't know.
I don't know that many Scotts.
I don't know his last name.
Well, nonetheless, you also have frustrated men across Northeast Ohio because now what we're going to have tomorrow when a bunch of guys want to go golfing is the wives are going to go, hey, I heard that babies are allowed at the golf course.
Oh, yeah. You don't let your
Why
wife
don't
hear
you take our child with you?
Yeah, that's going to be crazy wild if that happens. And I'm going to say...
I've heard they don't cry on the golf course. You'll love it.
I think that is just that particular baby.
Pastor Tanks said that you should do this.
That baby was trained. I was surprised. It was a great time though. But
All right.
I know we probably got a break coming up, but I just want to also say, if you want to feel bad for me, understand that this was the first activity I was able to do post MCL tear, because you didn't ask me about the fact that my MCL is torn, sir.
Well, I didn't ask because I didn't know.
Yes, you did.
You don't care about me, Brian.
I talked about it yesterday.
When did you talk about it?
When are we together every day?
It was like right after the show.
When are we together every day?
Was I looking at you?
Yes.
You actually said something about, you were talking to Dave about how he tore it while you were running. When you had your little race.
Oh, right. I made a joke about it. Yeah.
Because Dave said he thinks he's stronger than Pastor Tanks, and we were like, I don't know about that. And he goes, yeah, he is.
Right now he is.
And then that's what I said. I said, well, he did tear something, so maybe he hasn't, been able to exercise.
I don't think
now.
I processed that completely.
Yeah, tore my MCL. It's currently torn right now.
I'm not even sure. Is that your knee?
It's the MCL, so it's the ligament in the inside of your knee.
All right.
So ACL's down the middle, LCL's on the outside, MCL's on the inside.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
We're going to give his MCL a break. It's 6:18. We'll come back with more Follow-Up Friday with Pastor Tanks in just a minute.
Encourage Foster Care is a private, faith-based foster care agency located in 13 counties throughout Northeast and Central Ohio. Every month, Encourage receives dozens of requests for foster homes in Northeast Ohio. Due to the lack of foster homes, they are forced to turn away up to 80 children a month. Encourage is currently working to expand their services and support. Learn how you can be a part of the solution and help create hope for the community at buildinghopecampaign.org.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 877-58-BIBLE. That's 877-58-BIBLE. 877-58-BIBLE.
Your day is starting off strong with Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland. Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
624 WCRF. Yes,
Bro,
we
We're
are
on YouTube.
Bro, please. When I say 4 seconds, that means 4 seconds.
We're on YouTube, darling, aren't we?
We are and Facebook.
I didn't know my mic was on. Normally, Ron
It wasn't.
has it
It
on.
comes through
was.
Brian's.
Oh.
Text live
You know,
to
we're in, like, the same room.
546-2255.
That's Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. from Reach City Church.
My bad. They not gonna invite me back.
That's not true. You keep things light and fun, my friend. By the way, Mother's Day's coming up. You gotta register for your chance to win this prize. I don't think he's eligible to register though, right? He's too
Why
close
not?
to us.
He's not.
I don't know.
Friends and family of Moody are not allowed.
Oh.
But it's a big pile of prizes for the mom in your life. It's a spa gift card to a spa in Chagrin Falls, and then a restaurant gift card that gives you choices of restaurant. Isn't that nice?
Sounds amazing.
Did you forget where you were?
That was like the loudest.
What?
Gulp.
First of all, the crackle of your water bottle into the microphone and then a giant gulp.
It was like a cartoon gulp.
I didn't know I go, but dog, that's an amazing. That sounds like what I do every year for my wife. So that sounds like
Does it?
amazing.
Dee Dee likes a good spa.
Yeah, because
Who doesn't?
Yeah, she does.
I don't know. I mean, some people don't like,
Introverts love it.
Well, but you always have the fear that the person will want to talk to you. That's the fear.
If you're going down on like, the little storefront spa spot, maybe, but like if you go to like a spa spot, they know they're trained.
They're whispering and they're not speaking to you.
Yeah, they're trained not to try to have conversations with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's like the first time my wife Sarah took an Uber. It was only a couple of years ago. She'd never done it, and she finished and she texted me. She was like, "Oh my gosh, this person talked to me the whole time. This was the worst experience of my life."
Oh yeah, they're trained to talk to you.
Isn't there a checkbox now where you can be like, "Be quiet"?
Yes.
Oh, you can.
I haven't done it in a while, so I don't know if it's still there. But yes.
I don't Uber, so I don't know.
Quiet ride or silent ride or.
Oh, okay.
Before we get to reviewing topics for Follow Up Friday, where you get to set the tone, you can ask us any question you want, whether it's a personal question or a topic you want to bring up we haven't talked about or something to revisit. You can do that at 440-546-2255. I'm patting myself on the back. He did it again, didn't he? Yeah.
What? I tried to go on.
It's a hot mic. You can't hide from it. If you're on the live stream, you saw him like duck way into the corner.
Oh yeah, wait, we on live stream.
Yeah.
Hey.
You just asked if we were on YouTube.
I'm waking up. I'm waking up now. Let's
He's
go.
unwell.
You actually hollered out, "Are we on YouTube?"
You actually did.
And then we said yes. And then you were just surprised.
Oh, look, we're on the live stream.
Oh, Pastor Tanks, you're my favorite.
I gotta remember. I'm waking up. I'm trying to tell you, it's the allergies. It's the Sudafed.
You took Sudafed?
How many Sudafed
No.
did you take?
No, I haven't taken anything.
Okay.
That was a joke. I didn't find any allergy pills. Remember, they only had generic.
That's right. Yeah, we went over that.
We'd rather you be on the generic than whatever this is.
You are name brand Leonard, I think is again what
Name
we're calling
brand
you.
Leonard.
Oh wait, it's last minute Leonard. That's it.
Yes.
I'm
That's
not
it.
last minute in life. Ask anybody. I actually don't like people that's late.
But now, okay, so I'm patting myself on the back. You guys, I mowed my lawn for the first time of the season.
Ooh.
Yay.
Thank you. Lauren inspired me. She did it the day before. It only took me like 2-3 hours, and I'm a little sore from it, from sitting down and driving and bouncing around a little bit. But it was great fun. Good.
What's up?
You
Yeah.
done your first lawn mow yet, Pastor?
I don't cut my grass, but yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You have a lawn service, do you not?
My dad. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
That's a service.
Has your dad cut your lawn yet?
No, I looked at it the other day and I was like, he didn't come cut my grass.
Dad, it's time.
Dad, it's time. And for all of those who are listening, it's going to start going in. Oh my goodness, this kid is so disrespectful. Have his father cut his grass. My dad has a landscaping company.
He's going to do it better than you anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Ron, did you do your first lawn mow yet?
Oh, yeah, I've done 2. Yeah, just 2.
Wow,
How's
the
it going?
Medina grass.
It's a little depressing at this stage because there's parts where it actually shows and other parts where you really have to stare and see where did the wheel go because the grass has not grown in these patches.
I was disappointed in sections of my lawn as well. I was like, how dare you do this to me? I was supposed to enjoy. I always have trouble setting the deck height in the first mow. Like, how low should I cut it?
I go by my neighbor. If I mow and I don't see a difference between his grass and my grass, I figure that's about right.
Boy, so you're letting him control your life pretty intensely.
Pretty much, but he's from the UK. He's Irish. And
so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I don't...
Just because he's got an accent. I'm not good.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not going to mess with a guy who's got an accent.
He seems like he's got a little bit of authority here. He's got an accent.
Yeah, exactly.
Typically, the first cut of the year, you want to cut down at its lowest setting that you can.
I've heard the opposite, sir.
No. Well, as a landscaper since 9 years old, well, but it depends because you want to...
I thought you're supposed to go easy on it.
No, you can cut it down low, especially if you're going to be, I don't know if you're fertilizing and things like that at the start of your year.
No, I'm not allowed to do that.
Oh, never mind then. Maybe it's different for non-fertilization.
My wife thinks dandelions are pretty, which is insulting to me.
I think saving money is
You can tell her to come to my house.
Hey, funny thought. It's a ducky on my... Funny thought. When literally you just said dandelion. I was watching this reel and this guy was bringing, and he had like a singer with him, and he was taking flowers to his wife's job, and he walks in and he pays for her boo for a year. He walks back to her. I guess she's mad at him, and he's like, "I got you flowers," and she's like, and he got a singer singing it with him, and she's like, "These not even roses," and the singer like, "So they dandelions."
Maybe you had to be there.
Hey, bro. It was so funny, bro.
I love these reels. Yeah.
It was so funny. Anyway, random thought to your dandelion comment.
Okay.
Because other people think they're pretty, too. He bought them for his girlfriend.
Oh, tonight's a big night in my family. We won a supermarket sweep, Pastor.
Yes.
What's that?
He doesn't know about the sweep, Lauren.
He doesn't.
Oh, the thing where you get to go shop.
Yeah, you fill your cart as much as you can. Everything that's in the cart is paid for.
We get 2 carts.
At the
You get
supermarket?
2?
Which supermarket?
Yeah. I think we got.
How you
I was
win
told
that?
it was well, it was actually a raffle for the spring musical at my kids' schools.
Oh.
And one of my sons lost his half of the tickets, and so we ended up having a lot of tickets in the raffle because we had to pay for all the lost ones. But it worked out.
So you paid for these groceries already?
Well, he was going to pay for it, but now we decided it was a pretty good deal for us.
That's pretty dope.
So,
what super? Well, are you allowed to say?
yeah. It's an IGA in I forget which town, but it's not in Garrettsville. It's another one. There is one in Garrettsville, but it's
actually pretty cool. Anything there's
limits
over.
It's a food item. It can't be a non-food item.
Can't be like toiletries and
you
stuff.
can only do like 300 in meat.
Still 300 in meat.
Which I could do
Pretty
like 4
good.
carts of ground beef for that, or ground turkey or something, which I would. But
I'm about to say 4 carts of meat. That's not a lot of meat for me. It's like 7 steaks.
Right, it's not that many steaks.
But you can't get all the steaks. You got to get stuff that's going to last a while for more.
I told my wife, I'm like, listen, we're feeding these kids. They're not getting steak. We're not going to get any steak. She goes, well, we could get maybe 1 or 2. I'm like, I don't know. Let's not take our limit down.
If you ever need somebody to make you a really great in-house meal, let me know.
All right, is that you?
No, I don't cook.
Oh.
So
You're offering somebody else's services up for free.
Yeah, I got you. Well, not for free, but I got you, though. I got you.
So if I want to pay for a private chef for an event, which will be never, I'll call you?
See, I just tried to bless you because I didn't say pay. I said I got you. Literally is what I just said.
Oh, okay. But what you were saying actually was you would pay for it for me.
No, you get your steaks, though, and I'll just pay for it to be cooked.
Oh.
This keeps changing every time.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused, but
it's 6:33, so we're going to try to sort this out. Follow-up Friday continues here on WCRF in just a minute.
Hi, my name is Joe Abraham, and this is Pause for Prayer. Oh, the shelf. This expression is different than any other normal usage of the word. On the shelf generally is a sports reference for an athlete that is injured, unable to compete, and is placed on the IR, injured reserve list, that disqualifies one for game participation. It could be brief. It could last a long time. I'm coming off a significant spine surgery that put me on the shelf. Added to a slow transition to my part-time employment, at times my identity and worth has been questioned by me. Have you ever been there before? Let's pause today and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we bless your name and thank you so much for the opportunity to worship you and serve your holy name. Thank you that you have granted every believer at least one spiritual gift to help expand and build up the body. There are no spectators in the body of Christ. Thank you for amazing grace that both saves and equips God's children for ministry. Thank you for the variety of ministries that are included in the body of Christ. Some are very demonstrative to the greater public. Others are the oil to the wheel, flowing behind the scenes. Ironically, according to 1 Corinthians 12:23, the Apostle Paul calls the parts that we think that are less honorable to treat them with special honor. Sometimes being put on the shelf for whatever reason can breed a sense of insignificance, comparativeness, and at worst, even apathy. Personally, I must confess of all sorts of feelings as I step back from formal ministry. Thank you for the ministry of intercessory prayer, phone calls, and letter writing. Help us to engage in the privilege of serving the King of Kings, regardless of what form or manner. We love you, Lord Jesus. Amen.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Claire from Trinity Debt Management. I'm a counselor, and the reason that I love working for Trinity is because I get to help folks with one of the hardest problems a family can face, and that's financial difficulties. In this day and age, everything is going up. You have higher utilities, higher grocery bills, higher fuel, and those credit card interest rates have gone up as well. We can help you with that. We can help you get lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. In just a few minutes, we put together a plan that gets you out of debt and keeps you out of debt. I love my job. It's a great program and a very smart way to find debt relief.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-659-9838.
I'm Claire, a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-659-9838.
Helping you take the next step in your walk with Jesus. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio, Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio, Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Oh, you know it.
He's got a heart that's pure, but his hustle's real. From the streets to the pulpit, knows the deal. A man of wisdom, but he's down to earth. He keeps it real, showing love, showing worth. He's got his Bible, but his walk's got sway. Shares the word of God, but he don't play. Urban streets gave him the wisdom to see how to be strong and how to set people free. He's got the fire and it's burning inside. You can see the love, there's no place to hide. A family man, yeah, he stands by their side. Faith and love, that's the battle he's fighting. Past the tanks, you're leading the way. In Reach City, you light up the day. From the block to the pulpit, you stand so tall. Urban street smart, but with Jesus you call. You love your people, you love your wife. You preach the truth, bringing new life in Cleveland's heart. You're the change we need. Pastor Tanks, you plant the seed.
Pastor Tanks is here from Reach City Church.
And he memorized his own theme song.
Yeah,
which means he's listened
Who
to
wouldn't?
it multiple times.
I'd memorize my own too.
Were you driving home with this cranked up?
No.
Oh, I would.
Did you play it for your wife, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
What did she think?
She said, that's cool.
That's all you got?
You know what?
But I played it. Oh, go ahead.
Dee Dee is giving me Eddie Cuevas Jr. They are the same.
Oh,
they
yeah.
are the same.
Yeah. No,
Absolutely unfazed.
Yeah, she's like, that's cool.
That's exactly what Eddie would say if Ron made me something like that.
But
He'd be
now
like,
when I played,
cool.
now when I sent it to the church, the church, they were really excited. It's like, that is so cool. They love you up there. That is so cool. Oh, shout out to them. The church was.
We do
the
love
church,
you.
The
But
church
Dee Dee was like, huh.
She like, that's cool.
Nice.
Yeah, she like, that's cool.
Okay, I guess.
Eddie might just shrug, right? He might not even say anything. Oh.
You're like, yeah, cool.
I need to make a new verse about planting seeds on the golf course.
On the golf course. Come
That's right.
on.
That's right.
Golfing with strangers and babies.
Maybe I can get Pastor Ron to write a new edition to his book about gospel sharing on the golf course.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, maybe.
There you
Yeah.
I don't know. Random.
All right. Well, it is Follow-Up Friday here. You're welcome to jump in, 440-546-2255. I did have one specific topic I wanted to revisit from the week, partially because
Let's do
Lauren
it.
missed it, and because, of course, Pastor Tanks wasn't here for it.
Yeah,
it was a Dear Carolyn, one of those advice columns, and a woman wrote in and said, hey, my father's in his 80s, his late 80s, fairly self-sufficient, but needs support. My mother is also in her 80s, blah, blah, blah. It's been complicated. Their health is failing. Basically, her dad and her brother's been living there and like caring for the parents.
Okay.
And the parents have been supporting him while he lives there and helps care for them. He's ready for that to be done. So he says they all say it's her moral duty to quit her job and care for them personally. Yeah. And so it just sparked a conversation in terms of like, what is the obligation of the Christian family to care for the aging parents?
Makes sense.
Well, I think there needs to be conversations before the time comes of the children. What are the expectations of, like, so if it was me and my sisters, what are the expectations of the three of us? So you're not going into it and all of a sudden, now for years, your brother's had this idea of what he's expecting you to do, and you had no idea. And he's been caring for them. You're like, oh, well, I just thought you were caring for them. I thought that's what we were doing.
But in a wider sense, I mean, there are passages of Scripture that might even go as far as to indicate there could be some sort of moral duty.
Yeah, that's what I was. So
I don't know what it looks like, but there is some sort of moral duty, right, to care for aging parents?
Yeah, and I think that's to what Lauren is saying. It does have to become a conversation. Like when people quote that passage, a man that doesn't take care of his family is worse than an unbeliever. Like a lot of times they limit that just to the spouse. But when you keep reading like 1 Timothy chapter 5, it becomes clear that Paul is including within that conversation the duty to be responsible for your parents. Because he even talks about a true widow, if they are a true widow. In other words,
exactly.
The true widow means they have no other children. But then Paul goes on and says, what's the exact verse? I'm about to misquote it. But essentially he says that if you are alive, you should be taking care of your family, not the church. Literally, he's saying benevolence is not for the person who has children or people who are able, or grandchildren, he goes on to say, that are able to take care. Now, obviously, there has to be deep conversations about that. And I'm not really sure what Paul thought in his mind was for other people to quit their jobs.
Well, and that's where we didn't spend much time on this part of it, but I was trying to figure out the biblical / spiritual boundaries of what that means. Of you have a moral duty. It doesn't say moral duty, but I mean you're worse than an unbeliever if you're able to care for them. You don't. But what does that even mean? Does that mean make sure that they have a nice nursing home to be in? Make sure, like, do you have to care for them? Should you have them move into your home? Like a lot of cultures, that's what happens. It's just expected that the parents, as they age, will eventually move in with one of the kids.
But also some parents have a preference of what they want to do.
Right.
Some parents feel like, I really don't want to burden my kids, and so I actually would prefer to move into a nursing home. And they have those discussions before it's time. Or some families have discussions where we're going to take you in, or your family can't afford something like a nursing home, so you have to have them in your home.
Yeah, and you know what we were chatting about, it seems almost inevitable as well that the cycle goes this way where people as they age kind of go, man, I don't want to do what my parents did to me, where I had to force them to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And then what happens is you get older and somehow your kids still have to force you to move. Like there's this almost inevitable cycle of people refusing to get the care they need when their children tell them. And so it creates huge amounts of emotional turmoil in a family. And relational problems. It's like inevitable that you're going to be a thorn in your kid's flesh, you know?
Yeah. I wanted to actually just verbally read. I can read a couple verses?
Please? Never.
Yeah.
No, Jack, please.
So I'm not going to read them. I'm going to jump to certain ones because Paul jumps back and forth in here. But 1 Timothy 3, he says, honor widows who are actually widows, but if any widow has children or grandchildren, they must first learn to show proper respect for their own family and to give back compensation to their parents, for this is acceptable in the sight of God. Verse 8, but if anyone does not provide for his own, and especially for those of his household, he has denied the faith and is worse than an unbeliever. A widow is to be put on the list only if she is not less than 60 years old, having been the wife of one man, having a good reputation, taking care of her kids, et cetera, et cetera.
What's the book again?
This is 1 Timothy 5.
Wow, I forgot how specific that was.
Then he says this, therefore, the verse 16, he says, if any woman who is a believer has dependent widows, she must assist them, and the church must not be burdened so that it may assist those who are actually widows. And so now there is a little bit of a context there where Paul was dealing with the fact that you had younger women who refused to get married, and so they were depending on the church. And Paul is like, wait a minute, why y'all first off, y'all old enough, I'm gonna be single for the sake of being single stuff, but now you burdening other people to do things for you. He's like, crazy. But for those who are actually widows, meaning they were married, they got older, the spouse passed away, he does appear to put a high weight of responsibility on the children and the grandchildren to provide compensation. But I do think to everything you just said, Brian, where it's like, what does that compensation look like? Right. And I think that's where the discussion has to come in, meaning, one, what am I able to do? Because some people aren't able to take in an extra body of persons to care for because they have other children, or maybe their home isn't big enough and they don't have the room and the space. So the question becomes, are we helping with the nursing home bill, or are we, doing this and that? And I think that it is just about, having those conversations. My wife and I, we've talked and a lot around what happens if one of our parents are no longer able to work and provide themselves. We have a plan for that, because what you said is like, well, one of y'all said it's like, we need to talk about, so if it hits, we're not looking at each other all of a sudden. It's like, no, we have a plan in place for our parents.
And pastors, a lot of parents refuse to talk about it.
You got you.
I mean, I'm not saying that's my situation, but there are people, hey, Mom, I know you and Dad are getting older, and we're fine.
Right.
What maybe you want to live with us? No, we don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's real.
And so you end up being forced into a situation. And so let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Again, it's WCRF Mornings with Brian. I kind of want to see if I can get my head more around. You shared a really important passage in 1 Timothy. Mm-hmm. Like, what are the moral boundaries, first of all? And then what might that look like in a modern context? Mm-hmm. 440-546-2255.
Making assumptions is rarely a good idea. That's true when it comes to thinking healthcare costs can't be affordable. Christian Healthcare Ministries has been helping believers meet their healthcare needs for over 40 years. It's not insurance, it's a ministry. Visiting chministries.org/Moody eliminates assumptions and shows how this unique model has worked to meet the healthcare needs of hundreds of thousands of Christians. Get more information and have your questions answered at chministries.org/Moody.
Easter marks the triumphant celebration of Jesus' resurrection. But the power of Christ's victory over death is something we can carry with us every day. This April, join Today in the Word for a Bible study focused on the profound truth of Christ's resurrection. Devotional author John Kessler will lead us through the Bible to be refreshed by the hope we have in Christ. To join this month's study, go to todayintheword.com or download the Today in the Word app.
Pursue your passion toward shepherding, teaching, and ministry leadership with a Master of Divinity from Moody Online. You'll study systematic theology, pastoral practices, develop your skills in preaching and teaching, and be equipped to analyze Scripture through the lens of the original Hebrew and Greek texts. Take classes when and how it's most convenient for you with our flexible online option. Get started today at moody.edu/online.
Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland. 6 to 9 a.m. weekdays on 3.3.
650 WCRF. In studio with us, the Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. from Reach City Church.
Cheer.
By the way, we're going to be announcing the winners at some point of our Cleveland Leadership Prayer Breakfast. We're going to 7 different people get 2 tickets to sit at our tables.
Yes.
Is that today we're announcing that?
Yes. I have the list right here.
So what time do you want to do that, Lauren?
Oh, I don't care.
Well, we'll wait a little bit. Stick with us, and we're going to announce the winners in just a few minutes. But if you don't win, you can still get your tickets. The big event, May 8th, at the IX Center. It's the annual Cleveland Leadership Prayer Breakfast. Bring an unsaved friend. And if you want more information, you can text breakfast, right? Or is that the contest form?
That's the contest form. You can text prayer.
Prayer. Text prayer to 440-546-2255. All right, so we're revisiting right now a topic I wanted to talk to specifically Lauren and Pastor Tanks about because they weren't with us in the first discussion. There was an advice column where a woman wrote in and said her elderly parents have come to her. She's got a husband, full-time job, kids, and her father and her brother have come to her and said, it's your moral obligation to quit your job and care full-time for the aging parents. They would help support her or whatever, but they need her to do this. And we're trying to figure out to what extent is there a moral obligation for believers. Now, I have to tell you, I'm a little uncomfortable with how specific Paul was in Timothy. I'd forgotten how we all quote if you don't care for your own, you're an unbeliever. Can you give us kind of the Pastor Tanks interpretation of the boundaries Paul sets in there?
Yeah, I think, like I was saying before, I don't believe that. I believe that Paul is dealing with the fact that there are able-bodied individuals within the congregation that are grandparents and children of these widows, and they have the ability to care, and they're just kind of being like, we're not dealing with nothing. Go to the church, have the church take care of you, etc. And I think Paul is trying to get at them as saying, hey, listen, if you have the means and the ability, you have a responsibility to care for the people who have cared and raised you. Now, like I was saying before, there is an assumption. I don't want any Christians going looking up the deadbeat parent that never did a thing for them and being like, well, I guess I got to take care of you, because there's an assumption that these widows, especially when you get in, I think it's like verse 9 says, if she raised her children properly, et cetera, there's an assumption there that this was a involved parent, right?
You think so?
Yeah, I would say there's an assumption that this was an involved parent.
Now, notice you didn't say perfect parent.
No, involved.
A parent that did their best and wasn't overtly abusive.
Right, involved.
Now, here's where I think it starts to get really uncomfortable. I would say, and you guys can tell me I'm wrong, the American cultural tradition in caring for the elderly would be to, let's see how little we can do. I know it sounds harsh, but let's do the minimum and have someone else do it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pay for it, write a check. I'm not certain a biblical principle is ever, when it comes to generosity, do the minimum.
No.
And so if I'm going to take that larger principle from Scripture, shouldn't the Christian obligation towards parents be one of generosity and sacrifice?
Yeah.
I don't like this per se.
No, I don't either. I mean,
but right? Because the American trend is do the minimum, right?
Yeah. There's also, and to your point, I think the family dynamics and context of Middle Eastern families is so drastically different from an American family that for them reading that, it's like, oh, okay.
No problem.
Yeah, for us, we like, what? Wait, what? Because that's not how we that's just not how we are trained in this culture.
I mean, so many of us live so far away from each other too. As Brian was talking about earlier this week, his family is all in Minnesota. Even if he and his wife want to do something and desperately want to help, they might be limited in what they can do.
Yeah.
And I think another American principle would be, I'll care for them, but I don't want to have to change at all. Like, I shouldn't have to move. I shouldn't have to have them move in with me.
Yeah.
I shouldn't have to really do much more than write a check and do an extra visit or two.
Yeah.
Now, I'm being harsh, but I think that is the prevailing wisdom. And I don't think that's biblical.
Yeah, no, I watch one of the things that I've enjoyed. I come from a drastically different family dynamic than my wife. One of the things that I saw for the first time, and it was weird to me, but it was a beautiful thing, was that my wife's grandmother, she had 4 children. And when she got to the age of not being able to care for herself, she, rest her soul, she's passed away in the last couple of years. But one of the things is that her 4 children took time, and every 4 months she would go to a different one of her children's house and would stay there for the duration of those 4 months. And then she would go to the other kids. And then when she got to the age where it was actually being harder for her to do all that travel because of doctors, her primary care, then she just completely set her roots into one of her children's house, and they all took care of her. And I watched that principle lived out. And for the first time I was like, whoa, that's crazy. But I was like, but when I began, I'm like, oh, that's actually a biblical principle. And she was a powerful woman of God and raised her children.
Why is that a biblical principle? Somebody else would go, what do you mean it's biblical?
Well,
Paul didn't say you have to do that.
If I'm just taking 1 Timothy, I think they took that as the way that they could care for her. They didn't want her in nursing homes. They all had houses. They all had homes. They all had resources. And so they figured the best way to care for her is, hey, she raised us. We lived with her our whole life. Now we're going to take her in and we're going to participate in the caring for her. And I thought it was beautiful. And I don't think, and if you ask them, I don't know all of them, but if you ask, I'm sure they will let you know it wasn't always the easiest thing to do to change your whole life, especially when she got older in age and became a fall hazard and things like that. You had to drastically change how your house was set up for her. And so this is to your point, like they were uncomfortable. They got uncomfortable. It was resources that had to be used. But I think at the end of the day, for them, it was just like, but this is our mother, and this is a great woman. The whole mother raised us.
Yeah, but somebody just heard an out because they'd say, yeah,
woman.
You haven't met my mother. She's very difficult to deal with. She's very persnickety.
Yeah.
She cared for me well. She's a good mother, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I get a pass now, right?
Yeah, I wrestle with that, man. And I won't on air go too deep, but I was raised by my dad. So it's like a no-brainer when it comes to my dad. Like no-brainer.
But I bet your dad has a big personality.
Yeah. But it's just a no-brainer. Like, I was raised by my father. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, whatever my dad wants. I wasn't raised by my mom. And we have a relationship, but it wasn't the same as. And so it's like, what's the extent that I would really be willing to make myself uncomfortable if I needed to, right? And that's a real. That's one of the reasons why I wrestle with, and hopefully she don't. I'm pretty sure she's not listening. So,
but I understand your point. But because what the tension you're feeling is that Christians also are called to a radical, unconditional love.
Yeah,
and they're called to a radical love of not just neighbor but enemy.
Yeah.
As part of neighbor. And so, a difficult parent, I feel like almost a biblical principle would be like, so
yeah,
you were difficult as a teenager. Get over it.
Yeah.
Now. Have you talked to your parents about this, Lauren? You indicated you think people should talk through it. Your parents are healthy.
A little bit. They've talked about they'd like to downsize, but when they do, they're not going to go get like another smaller house or a condo. They said, we'll go into like a retirement community where at first we can like, live however we want, and then we just have an apartment there. But as we need more help, they get you to get more assisted living as you need it. So they've talked about doing that. That was the last kind of what we've talked about with them. And that would probably be until, one of them passes and then the other one would need more care. But you never know what's going to happen health-wise if they could do that. But that was kind of their plans, was to go into a community where you could get more and more help as needed.
Well, and Ron, your family has faced this.
Yes. My parents, they both passed while they were mobile. They were, I almost said healthy. Obviously, they weren't healthy, but they were able to get around. They lived independently. They had their own house. It just, things happened quickly for both of them. So it wasn't a matter of, selling the homestead, downsizing, going into assisted living or anything. It was in their own home, and then soon they were gone.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask Daria because she's so young. I know her parents would be offended if they're listening. What do you mean, elderly? We don't have to talk about it.
I mean, Jimmy and I have had those conversations.
Have you?
I don't want to get too much into it, but I mean, it is a reality of life, and it's Jimmy and I are both the oldest, so we feel like it's our responsibility to lead the charge in caring for our parents.
Good for you for thinking about it this early.
Yeah, because you never know what life will bring you, and how the Lord will play out your story. I've seen some people do it beautifully. Our station manager, Josh Villa, one of the things, I admire a lot of things about him, but him and his wife, Mimi, took in his father for 4 years. His father lived in one of their spare bedrooms. Mm-hmm. And then he moved in for a couple years with one of his brothers. Mm. And they cared for his dad. And it was beautiful. Yeah. It's not that his dad was always easy to work with and live with, but I remember being over there for dinner once, and just there was something really special about all of us sitting around the table for dinner, and seeing one of my mentors and my friends care for his father in that way. Mm-hmm. And our old vice president of Moody Radio, Colin Lambert, was open about the fact that when it was like his parents and his father-in-law started aging and were struggling, they all got together and bought a bigger house so they could all live together and help each other. Mm-hmm. A lot of people, I'm not doing that, I'm not moving. And I don't know. I'm not certain if we draw these I'm not doing that boundaries that we're doing a Christian thing.
No.
Yeah. No. I don't. Yeah. I mean, I agree with you. And I think that the raising the question of this is more followers of Christ need to think about this conversation and from a big picture, even from like a parent of children. Like I look at my kids. I got a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. I look at my kids and I'm like, if I die today, I thought of you because all of you get money. I have a policy to provide for all of my household for basically the rest of their life if they're not foolish, right? So I thought of you if I leave you in my death. Now, let's say I don't pass, right? Well, I ain't getting that policy again because they're not giving policies to old people, right? So, which means are you thinking of me? And as you get to an age to be like, wait a minute, I need to make sure that if my father gets to a place where he's no longer to work and provide for himself, he will be taken care of because we will take care of him in the same way that he took care of us and then considered us in his life, even after he no longer had to consider us. I think I would be highly offended as the parent, like if my kids shipped me off somewhere.
Well, right. Like if I were to pass unexpectedly and all 5 of my kids were irritated that they had to help out their mother, I'd be heartbroken.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that'd be horrible.
And yet this is what happens time and again.
Yeah.
And that's not how we're supposed to live as Christians. We're supposed to love others as we would want to be loved.
Yeah, and I love what the writer, the person that wrote in said. When Jesus was on the cross dying, one of his last wishes was, "Hey, there's your mother." In other words, hey, take
Moms
care
love
of
that
my
one.
mom. Like, don't leave my mom out here struggling.
Yeah.
Take care of her.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see you, by the way.
We got to get to Ron's news in today's Moron Moment. You're welcome to weigh in on this. 440-546-2255. It's Mornings with Brian and WCRF.
It's Mornings with Brian from the North Coast Family Foundation sponsored studios. Christian counseling for adults, couples, children, and families. North Coast Family Foundation. WCRF, Cleveland. WVMS, Sandusky. WVML, Millersburg. WVMN, Newcastle. WVME, Meadville. WVMU, Ashtabula. And with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
Luigi Mangione is headed to federal court today. At 7:04, I'm Ron Eastwood, Moody Radio News. Mangione will be arraigned on federal murder charges for allegedly fatally shooting United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan last year. He is expected to plead not guilty. Attorney General Pam Bondi says she plans to pursue the death penalty. The Akron Mayor's office says they will soon stop communicating information through the social media platform known as X. The mayor's office will continue to communicate through other platforms like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. And some Ohio lawmakers are looking to end elections for county coroners. The state budget bill that passed the Ohio House earlier this month includes a section that would put county commissioners in charge of appointing candidates to the coroner's position. The Ohio State Coroners Association is opposed to the move. In sports, the Pirates were touched by the Angels 4-3. The first round of the NFL draft is in the books. The Browns traded down from 2 to 5 and selected Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. The Steelers selected Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon with the 21st overall pick. Rounds 2 and 3 take place tonight, with the rest of the draft wrapping up on Saturday. And the Cavaliers' Evan Mobley was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year yesterday. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. Showers likely today. We could see some isolated thunderstorms early this morning and then a chance of thunderstorms this afternoon. It'll be cooler with highs in the lower 70s. At last check, cloudy skies, some light rain now being reported in Cleveland, 65 degrees. Akron and Canton has that light rain as well, just 60 degrees there. Cloudy and 59 in Ashtabula.
It's time for your Moron Moment.
While the recent Earth Day put some of Ohio's most natural above-ground beauty on display, Ohio Caverns allows visitors to observe the state's hidden beauty, with the deepest point being 103 feet underground. This gorgeous destination has the bragging rights of being the deepest cave in Ohio. America's most colorful caverns are filled with crystal stalactites, stalagmites, and other fascinating formations. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 7:07 with Moody Radio News. I'm Ron Eastwood.
Broadcasting.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Yo, what's goody?
What's
love
goody,
it
yo?
when I hear that music. Yo, what's goody? It's always goody, yo.
It is Follow Up Friday featuring Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. from Reach City Church. He's with us all morning, and Follow Up Friday is that day where you can bring up a new topic. Show belongs to you. You can call or text with it. You can ask a personal question of us or share one of your personal issues, and we'd be happy to try to help you out. 440-546-2255. 440-546-2255. We were pretty serious for a minute, so I have two lighter topics I wanted to revisit.
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
Before you do that, can we get emojis? Can I get fires in the emojis chat? Go ahead.
I like it that he's asking me.
Because they didn't put and I haven't seen no fires in a while. I seen a
We haven't asked them.
I want fires. I'm going to
I think you might need to ask them like a little bit. Like,
so
more
let me
enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Sir, you're a grown man.
Pastor Tanks likes when you send emojis,
Let's
flame
go,
emojis.
Lee!
Fire emojis is what he's looking for. Fire emojis. If you got a fire emoji, text it in 440-546-2255. Get them real pumped up.
I'm happy now.
Because you got one. Imagine if he gets more.
Way to go, Leanne. You did it.
There we go. There's some
Chef
more.
Ken throwing
Let's
down
go!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I'm woke now. All right, back to
The
you,
6
Brian.
o'clock hour was a little rough.
Yeah,
well, 6 to 6:30 was a little rough.
Yeah, I
Pastor Tanks.
was figuring life out.
That's one word for it.
While you send in your fire emojis, I'm anxious to see this reaction. Just a quick comment from, and I think it was on Twitter/X, whatever it's called, from a Washington Post reporter, and he said this. Several months ago, a couple we are friends with said they don't sleep on the same side of the bed every night. As in every night when
They're
they go to
just
bed,
randomly-
they don't
just randomly
know
pick?
who will sleep on which side.
No, I don't think
I
so.
don't like that. My side of the bed.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess.
it's messed
Now,
up.
When we've moved, sometimes it changes just
Yeah.
depending on like where, like how the room is laid out.
Oh, wow.
It's not always the exact same
No.
side.
Yeah, I said that too, and he thought I was nuts.
I'm
No.
so neurotic about it.
Eddie must be near the door
Why?
in case someone comes to attack me. So, what do you mean?
That's the reason. A
What
lot
do
of
you
people
mean?
are like, I want the kids to wake my husband up.
No. This
You're
is
like,
for attackers.
This is so that he dies first?
No, he protects me.
He delays while you get out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So sometimes, depending on the room layout, that has changed. But once that room layout is established, the sides stay.
Yes.
My side of the bed, I literally had to think about this. My side of the bed has been the same side of the bed no matter where we move.
Thank you, sir.
Or how. I had to think about it. Like when our bed was against this wall,
That's right.
I slept by the door. I
Thank
was
you.
the first person in. But when we moved our bed to this side of the wall, my side stayed the same. So now my wife is the first person
That's
in.
right.
And I'm on this side. But I'm in my head, I'm like, we all sleep in bed anyway. Like me being closer to the door ain't saving us.
No, it is.
Like,
By the way-
if they come in that deep into it, we already in trouble.
Lots of
and
fire
I'm gonna be
emojis
first to
coming
wake up anyway. Eddie's done for. And when I leave,
You're a light sleeper?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not waking up if somebody breaking my house either. Like it's over. Like at that point, we're already in trouble.
Yeah. When I leave every morning, I let Eddie know I'm waking up to leave so that he's in charge of children. Like it's time. This morning I woke him up and I was like, "Hey, I'm leaving." He goes, "I can't, the baby." I was like, "Huh?" I said, "I can't, the baby." And I was like, "I'm leaving."
Are you okay?
Yeah.
That's funny. Now, I'm so neurotic about side of the bed that when I go to a hotel, I figure out which side is my side, and I sleep on that side.
Yeah, it's the same.
You do that too?
I'm going through my head. I'm like, no, I always, if I'm staring at the bed, at the foot of the bed, I always sleep on the right hand side.
Yes, me too.
Always. It don't matter. At the hotel, I'm on the right hand side.
It's a thing
Everywhere
about-
I go, I'm on the right hand side.
It's a thing about when I'm laying on my left side, I need to know that there's an out right there.
Yeah, I just
I
thought
don't
about
want
that.
it. I never be confused by it.
No, I don't think it's ever been intentional that I've done it. But as we're sitting here, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh yeah, I always sleep on the right hand side of the bed.
And particularly in a hotel, he is near the door. Don't care what side it is.
So poor Eddie's constantly flip-flopping where he sleeps.
I'm still in
He
trouble.
doesn't care.
I put the little latchy thing on at the hotel, so they shouldn't be coming through there. Again, if they get that deep, we in trouble anyway.
Facts.
I can't, the baby.
I can't, the baby.
The baby.
He was like dead asleep. I can't, the baby.
Ron, do you have a side of the bed, or do you just sleep wherever Dana tells you?
I'm like Eddie. You sleep the man sleeps closest to the door.
That's
so
exactly
if
right.
there is some kind of an intruder or a problem, he can deal with it.
Well,
quickest.
Ron, I don't know if we want to talk about bedtime problems.
Yeah, you don't respond well in the middle of the night under pressure.
Well, I
tell Pastor Tanks what you did.
I'd be a little better if I'm closer to the door.
It's my. Oh, that's not true.
I don't think so.
That's not true.
So funny.
That's my favorite story. Tell
I
Pastor
feel like
Tanks
I've
what you did.
heard this story of something. Start it, and let me see if I remember it.
Okay. We were sleeping in the middle of the night. One of us rolled over or something and did just enough that a bed slat popped loose and the feet of the bed dropped to the ground.
So suddenly his bed is like a hill.
Yeah.
Goof.
Yeah.
My wife woke up. I really didn't. And
If you're not waking up for a bed falling, you're not waking up with an intruder in your house.
That's what I'm saying.
Sorry, over for you.
yeah, so
And he didn't do anything. He was like, sorry about it.
Yeah, I was regretful. She
Is that how you put it?
Yeah, she
Tell him
He
what
was
you did.
regretful.
she woke me up and said something about what had happened.
Help. What's
And
going on?
I said, well, what the
Ronnie, please.
HE double hockey sticks do you want me to do about it? And she was angry and went to another room.
And he didn't really
He
wake
slept.
He slept on the
On
bed
a
like
decline.
that.
He stayed sleeping on a declined bed.
up. Mister, I'm sleeping closest to the door in case somebody breaks in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, that's not helping you.
But if
bro.
they break your bed,
The bed
she's a
dropped
goner.
Probably,
Yeah,
probably
exactly.
a foot, maybe. He didn't wake up.
Now, I've had bed slats break in the middle of the night sleeping to us as well. We woke up like, well, I'm like, what just happened? And it's like, why is the bed on the ground? This is some cheap wood they make. But yeah, no. I don't know. I get you about the, somebody said I get about sleeping close. I just don't. I think it's about, what's this radio? I don't know what the, yeah, you know, hit the finger on the button, Daria. I think like,
Oh my gosh.
no, I'm saying like by the door don't help because the safe, the gun safe, ain't by the door. So I gotta jump over you now to go get. So I'm closer to the safe though.
Okay. Well, what do you sleep with the keys like in your pocket?
No, but I'm still closer.
You're struggling to put a sentence together off your allergy meds. I have a hard time believing you'll be able to open the safe in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
No, listen, but I used to be that little weird person, and I had to learn safety because I used to be the person that thought in my head I'm gonna sleep with it because then I have access to it. Then I realized like I'm gonna kill myself in the middle of the night is what I'm
that's
going to do.
exactly right.
So I mean I stopped a long time ago, but then I started to feel like you. I'm like, well, what good is it? It's all the way over there.
You have to have, hold on, stop breaking in.
Yeah.
I need a minute.
I need a minute.
I got to find my keys.
But I have another place that I can get to close sooner than the safe because it's up higher. And it can sit there.
Well, my embarrassing version was Sarah nudged me when we had an alarm that went off, and our home alarm. It was also attached to our detached garage, which is what the alarm was. She insisted I get out there, so I grab a bat, run outside, realize I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, can't do anything.
Didn't know what you were doing anyway.
Everything's blurry. Everything's just blobs.
Yeah, I have bad vision, so it was like I got out there. I was like, well, I mean,
He's gonna be out there swinging.
Start hitting
don't
a tree.
hurt me. I can't see you.
My alarm went off the other day. So my wife is a light sleeper, like, and she jumps up about everything. And
That's me.
so, like, if I walk
I'm
into
always
the
being
house
attacked.
late at night, my wife jumps up, and my phrase to my wife always is, "I live here." She jumps up. I'll be like, "I live here."
This is my house. It's just me.
Lauren is constantly in fear of being murdered.
Yes. I am.
You gotta stop.
Yeah, just stop.
Maybe people should stop murdering people, and then I won't be scared.
That is true as well.
So there you go. It's 7:20. It's time for a quick break. It's Follow Up Friday, 440-546-2255.
I love you, Mom. I love you, Mommy. I love you, Mom.
We have an idea. Enter our Moments with Mom contest.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
6:55 here on Moody Radio, and we got Pastor Tanks in with us from Reach City Church in Cleveland's Huff neighborhood. What's up?
What's goody, yo? You know what it is. It's your boy, me, back on the air once again. One time for the one time.
I don't know what radio station you think this is.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gentrifying it.
Yes, you are. By the way, Follow-Up Friday is when you get to set the tone and the topic. Whatever you want to talk about, you can bring it to us, 440-546-2255. We can also revisit topics from this previous week. I brought up the odd topic of some couple was like switching sides of the bed every night in some sort of psychotic, sociopathic, weird move.
Just like you look at your bed and you're like, I'll sleep over there tonight. No, oh my God, I've got all my things on my nightstand.
All the things. I've got my covers.
Yeah, I got my blankies. I got my pillow that I like.
It's clearly my side.
It's mine.
Yeah.
I love that you said covers because, yes, so we're not weird that we have our own covers.
We share a top sheet and like another blanket, but then I require other blankets, and they're mine.
Okay.
And like one of them's a weighted blanket. This is very necessary for me.
And you know what I don't like is I don't want, like, that's my, like, body oils. I don't want my spouse's body oils. What's it going to do to my skin? What's it going to do to my hair? You know?
No, I get it. And in Sarah's case, she's like, Brian's exceptionally oily when he sleeps, and so she doesn't want it anywhere near that. Yeah. I know it's kind of gross.
Okay, you didn't have to say that, but that's okay.
But now you know.
We accept you.
Yeah.
We have our own, and I just was wondering. Every now and then, I get like romantic, and I want to sleep under the same cover. And my wife is like,
"Don't touch
get from underneath from hot."
Oh yeah.
My mom, because my parents were so different in their preferences for cold and warm in the bed. My mom bought a set of flannel sheets and a set of regular sheets, cut them down the middle.
Oh,
both fitted end top, and sewed them together so that half is flannel and half is regular. And
that's a wise woman.
That's brilliant, is what that is.
It's an act of love. It's very sweet.
I think it was a selfish move as well. You'd have to ask my mother. But
yeah, but she was thinking of him too. If she wanted the flannel sheets, she's like, well, he doesn't, so.
Why fight over stuff you can just make a quick stitch and fix?
For me, that would take like 6 years to stitch together, so.
You'd have to hire it out. That'd be easier. Yeah. Can Jeej do that for you?
Jeej probably could.
Should ask her. The Jeej, your mom. All right, we got Sarah on the line. Sarah, you wanted to talk a little bit about this. Throw it at us.
Yeah, so I just got married in November, so like still very newlywed, all of the things.
Congrats.
But I was listening. Thanks. But I was listening to your conversation, and I was like, oh, I feel like we are definitely not at that stage of marriage yet, where like something bad happens and the other person just rolls over and goes, nah. So I was curious, like, when did that start? Because like I recently accidentally let out like 60 chickens during like the very wee hours of the morning. And I had to wake my husband up by like yelling at him from the front yard, and I was in tears and all the things. And he just got up and helped me broom and sweep the chickens like back into where they needed to go. And so I'm worried because I feel like maybe that's not going to last after.
Oh no, it's not going to last at all. Ron Eastwood one time slept through people were locked out of his home. What was this? And they were throwing things at the window. And
oh my gosh, I'd forgotten that. Yes. It was while I was working UPS and here, so I was very tired, and my wife and my daughter were trying to get in the house. I think there was a power outage, and so the garage door opener didn't work, and
it was an effort.
We have not been wise enough to put keys outside the house because, well, the garage door always works. So they were walking around banging on various doors and windows trying to get me up, and it finally worked, but it took a while.
Could have been an intruder.
Yeah, and time changes things so much, Sarah, too. Like when Sarah and I were first married, it was like if I were to move and any sort of wind would move from my knee and touch her, it'd be like, don't touch me. Mm-hmm. Like she needs to sleep without having
You're very aware
movement.
that there's someone else in your space.
Yeah. Eventually, it's just all, I don't know when it changes. Is it kids that changes it?
It could be. Yeah.
Maybe not, though. I don't know.
Once you're past like the baby phase and you've learned to like sleep through a lot of noises, maybe.
Daria, are you a hard sleeper? Is Jimmy a hard sleeper?
I sleep like the dead.
I
And Jimmy,
wish.
last night I did wake up for something, and then I realized that Jimmy was snoring, and I couldn't go back to sleep because he was snoring. And I was trying like really hard, like I just wanted him to turn on his side. This man was not waking up, and he has never been a deep sleeper, but he was not waking up. So he finally wakes up. He's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "Can you just please turn on your side?"
You're being loud.
What do you want, Jimmy?
It was the middle of the night. I don't hold it against
so
him.
That's a good rule.
Sarah, it may come with time of just realizing there's someone else in your space, and you just kind of get used to that. You're not aware of every little noise or every little movement anymore.
Does that help?
Yeah, thankful for him because the poor man was sound asleep on a Sunday morning, and he poked his head out the open window and saw me and like fishing waders in a green Grinch hat in tears because there were 60 chickens running everywhere.
I'd be crying
And
too.
he just got ready to go and came outside and grabbed a broom and we swept chickens back up. And so I'll just be grateful for it.
Yeah, now I was about to
we
say.
are 4 months pregnant, so.
I was about to say, now, Sarah, now that level, though, I would hope never stops.
To come help you
that
when
your,
you're in
that your
distress.
husband, yeah, I think the difference is with the chickens have woke him up. But now that the chickens are out and you're outside crying, I would hope that never stops him getting up to come and help you.
Honey, the chickens!
Oh, yeah. Well, 7:32. We got to break up against us here, but thanks for the call, Sarah. Love hearing from you. You could call, too. It's Follow-Up Friday. We could talk about whatever you want to talk about. 440-546-2255.
The world is changing fast. AI, global crises, and shifting cultural landscapes are shaping future generations in ways that are hard to imagine. The question isn't if change is coming. The question is, how will we respond? Join Moody Bible Institute this May in Chicago for Future Church, preaching and leading the next generation. This powerful conference will equip you with dynamic preaching methods and cutting-edge leadership strategies to reach that next generation. Register now at moodyconferences.com. That's moodyconferences.com.
From the world of the best-selling illustrated edition of Little Pilgrim's Progress comes a brand new adventure for early readers. The King's Cadets and Little Joe follows 3 young rabbit brothers as they dream of becoming soldiers of the King. They set off on daring missions, learning courage, wisdom, and faith along the way. Parents and grandparents will love sharing these stories and woodland illustrations with their little ones. Order The King's Cadets and Little Joe today at moodybooks.org.
Keeping your eyes on Jesus in a changing culture can be difficult. Let us help. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Are you running around in circles with no place to go? Is there a person?
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Brian live from the North Coast Family Foundation sponsored studio. Whether it's your faith or your health, you don't have to journey alone. It's Follow-Up Friday, where you get to bring up a topic, follow up on something, 440-546-2255. We got Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. in studio from Reach City Church.
Yo, what's goody, yo? It's your boy. You already know what it is, man. You can hear me
He says
live.
good morning.
You can hear me live as you're listening now, man. Or you can tune in and you can see this beautiful face by checking us out on YouTube, man. I'm live there, too. Yeah, it is what
It is lovely to see Lauren and Daria. It is
Oh,
very
yeah, them
lovely.
too. Well, they see them all. The point is people don't see me.
So true.
That's true.
Gosh.
We got a first-time texter.
Okay, great. Let's hear it.
Regarding snoring husbands. My husband is a rafter-rattling snorer.
Fortunately, Jimmy is not that bad.
I like that label.
I learned to work my fist under him just to make a bit of discomfort. He rolls over on his own without me elbowing or waking him up.
Good move.
There you go, Daria.
It takes years of marriage to develop those techniques. Yeah,
Put
very
your
good.
fish underneath him, Daria.
I'll keep that in mind if it happens again.
Now, we got a question from a listener.
Okay.
I have a question regarding an estranged member of the family. Someone who has received help and then mismanaged it, or they were deceitful about why they needed the help. They asked for money for medications, but it was to go for shopping instead. Or they've been deceitful over true health status. I'm very torn on what to do.
Is this tied, do you think, to the caring for elderly parents, or is this separate?
I'm not sure it came in at the same time. I don't think it was about parents.
We were chatting off the air about, as a way to get into the answer to this question, the American individualism has really leaked into the church in a pretty dramatic way. To that, I think, and I'm not saying you're doing this, whoever texted this, but all of us, me included, are always looking for a way to get out of caring for people.
Yeah.
A reason why it's not my responsibility because they're supposed to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Because that's the American concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't think we should enable people who are deceitful, but I don't think the fact that this individual has been deceitful is a reason to not care for them.
Right.
You don't get a pass to, well, you're on your own now. You lied to me.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think you should be giving them like lump sums of cash because they've proven they are going to be irresponsible with it.
Right.
But if we are talking about an aging parent here, then I still think, unless there's other concerns where you think they might be harmful to your children or might be taking your stuff, I still think you have an obligation to care for them.
Yeah, so if it's, can I have $20 for medication? No, but I'll go pick it up for you.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same conversation. Like we was having this conversation in my men's group where we were talking about generosity towards the unhoused that you know are not using money to take care of themselves. And it's like, well, do we got to give it to them? And it's like, listen, I don't carry cash. I'm not in the habit of giving homeless people money anyway because I don't have it. But at the end of the day, just because you know they're going to do wrong with it doesn't remove the obligation to say, oh, you said you're hungry? Okay, cool. Let me go grab you a sandwich. Because guess what? You can't go wrong with that. So all you can do is, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, I know you don't care enough about yourself to actually use this money to feed yourself something that you need to do. So I'm going to care for you by not giving you money so you can go spend it on the wrong stuff. I'm going to go buy you something to eat so that you eat the right thing. Now, unless you're about to go sell the sandwich.
Well, but you know what? You make a good point because I think people will often have this idea of there's some scammers out there pretending to be homeless.
Facts.
Therefore, I'm not giving money to anybody. I'm not helping anybody. And I think that's an unhelpful principle because sometimes people do need help. I remember I was, when I first lived in Chicago, I was on my own going to church on a Sunday, which had helped. I was going to church, so I was thinking more spiritually.
Come on now.
I'm on the L in Chicago, and there's a woman with a stroller at an L stop where there's no elevator.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, do you need a hand? Thinking, look at me, I'm a Christian. You know? And so I help her carry it down the stairs, and she looks at me and she goes, I'm really hungry.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, well, there's a fast food place right here. You want me to buy you something to eat? She said, yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
I could have said to myself, I should probably scam her. She was up there. It's bait. Her baby is the bait to trick this Christian man into being nice.
You had to have money to get up there.
Yeah. Why'd you spend it on Subway?
Mm-hmm.
No. She needed food.
Yes.
She thankfully went in there with me. I let her pick out whatever she wanted. I don't do this often. I'm just saying, like, I think our bent must be towards generosity, and that's not our tendency in this culture.
Yeah, we just have a tendency in general. To your point, as I took a post down because I'm known for posting and not posting and then removing posts that I did post when I once posted it. But so if you follow,
you're known for that.
Yeah. I'm known for that. I take a lot of posts down because I think about them and I'm like, I'll take it down.
Good for you. That's good.
I did put a post recently around like somebody hating on altar calls, right? And the hate on the altar calls was rooted in just a whole bunch of bad practices of altar calls, right? Which I would agree with.
There are some, yeah.
And one of the things that I said, in this post that I took down, I said we have to be mindful to stop with this whole, like, I call it the limited experience fallacy, where we just allow a limited experience that we have to cause us to condemn an entire practice of something, instead of doing instead of being lazy Christians. Because that's what it is. It's easier to condemn an entire practice than to do the work to make the practice biblical. It's like,
that's right.
I'm just going to not do it, and it's all wrong. We're not going to care for the poor at all because they're out here scamming. And it's like, well, hold on. There's a biblical principle for us to care for the poor.
So a lot of passages on that.
I got a whole dissertation on this stuff, right? So you don't get to just throw that out because of the scammers, but you can go the extra mile to make sure that you're not being scammed, to care for somebody. And I think just as Christians in general, we have to stop throwing the pendulum to the throw it all out the window and be like, what does God call me to do? And how do I do this in a way that honors God and loves my neighbor and loves my enemy?
Well, and I think a good example of what we were talking about is that there's a pastor in Chicago on the west side of town in a real impoverished neighborhood. He was pastoring in Englewood, if you're familiar. I don't know if it's still impoverished.
You say Englewood?
Yes. Yeah.
Englewood with an E.
Englewood, got you. But go ahead.
Did I say it funny?
No, that's in L.A.
Wait, what'd you say? Chicago?
Englewood with an E is in Chicago.
Oh, he said Chicago.
Inglewood is in L.A.
All right. Like, I only know one. That's why I'm like, Englewood. That's not how you say that.
I say stuff funny sometimes.
My bad. Well, no, I ain't never been to Chicago. So.
But Bishop Ed Peacher, right? I remember I went out to lunch with him and another friend in ministry, and it's an area where a lot of people are asking for money.
Okay.
And he got stopped maybe 3 times on the way to the restaurant by different people. We parked far away. Every time he pulled out a $1 and handed him $1. And I asked him about it. I go, a lot of people disagree about how to handle this. What are you doing? He goes, it's not on me to judge what people are going to do with it. I'm called to be generous. And so he always carries a wad of 1s.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime anyone ever asks him for money, he gives it to them. Because he wants to lean on the culture of generosity as opposed to suspicion that everyone's trying to scam him and steal his money and go buy drugs.
Yeah.
And I was struck by it. I've tried to do that when I go to Chicago every once in a while, and I run out of 1s pretty quickly.
It's overwhelming.
It's totally overwhelming, but I love the principle of it.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, that's a stretch for sure. I don't carry cash, so I might think about it.
Yeah, who carries cash anymore?
I might have to think about it. But giving the 1 and giving them what they need as well, which is more than just the 1. I think making sure that we're pairing the 2 of word and deed together.
Yeah, we've talked with Jamie Buxton from the City Mission about she'll create like baggies, and they'll have like a bus card, a couple of granola bars, maybe a water, one of those small waters or something in it.
Mm-hmm.
And other resources, like resources of where they can find help and the hours of where they can find help of the City Mission, Laura's Home, places like that.
Yeah.
And she'll provide those. So it's resources and a bus card so that they can get around.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. And to me, this is just me perhaps trying to prove my point, but I think that approach, one of radical generosity, produces fruits of the Spirit in your heart. Yeah. You're not walking around angry and suspicious.
Yeah.
You're walking around peaceful and joyful.
No, fact.
Peaceful because you're not having to make the decision on whether someone's scamming you, and joyful because you're answering God's call in your life.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of us walk around all like, these people, it's skeptical.
Skeptical and grumpy.
Yeah. I just say no. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm very generous. But I go to the same places in my life every day.
So you'd see them every day.
So I know, like, oh, this is your hour at the end of the highway. Got you. This is your work shift. I'm not giving you no money. And you got your Cash App QR code on the cardboard.
Get out of here.
Listen, you got that. You got resources. I'm not cash apping you, but it's getting wild out here at the steel yard. You understand? But
so you're saying discernment does play into it?
Well, yeah, because
if someone's like, "Hey, can you Venmo me? I need a couple of bucks."
But oftentimes it's, I'm walking into the place. Like, okay, I got you. I'm about to grab you. Let's go see what you want. And you get those people like, well, no, just give me. I mean, I've literally had grumpy, unhoused people be like, no, I don't want it. I was like, well, all right, bye. Like, I'm not giving you no money. Like, you hungry, you said, right? Why are you arguing with me about the fact that I'm about to say, well, let me go get you something to eat? Just give me, you know what? No, I'm not giving you drug money because that's what you want at this point.
That's right.
But that's not the norm. I run into way more people who are actually in need.
Oh, yeah.
Than I run into scammers.
When you talk to our friends Linda Uvegas and Jamie Buxton at City Mission, they share my frustration of the caricature we've created of the poor, especially in the church.
Mm-hmm.
There's basically nobody out there trying to be homeless to scam the system.
Mm-hmm.
People are in crisis. They've experienced trauma, and they need help.
Yeah.
And us turning a caricature into the poor scamming the system is unbiblical and rude.
Yeah.
7:48, we got to take another break. 440-546-2255.
Pastors have to make tons of decisions, including what to do to meet healthcare needs for themselves and their staff. Christian Healthcare Ministries specializes in making healthcare decisions easy and affordable. Not insurance, but a health cost sharing ministry for over 40 years. CHM opens the door for individuals, families, and yes, pastors to be a part of a biblical way to meet medical bills. Get more information and answers to your questions at chministries.org/Moody. That's chministries.org/Moody.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Claire from Trinity Debt Management. I'm a counselor, and the reason that I love working for Trinity is because I get to help folks with one of the hardest problems a family can face, and that's financial difficulties. In this day and age, everything is going up. You have higher utilities, higher grocery bills, higher fuel, and those credit card interest rates have gone up as well. We can help you with that. We can help you get lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. In just a few minutes, we put together a plan that gets you out of debt and keeps you out of debt. I love my job. It's a great program and a very smart way to find debt relief.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-659-9838.
I'm Claire, a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-659-9838.
4 out of 5 scuba diving pizza delivery men recommend listening to Mornings with Brian. The other one says Brian's humor is a little too cheesy for his taste. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
That's Mercy Me at 7:53 on WCRF. I'm going to have Ron nudge the drummer to wake him up because we've been doing a contest all week where somebody, 7 somebodies, would win a pair of tickets to sit at our table at the Cleveland Leadership Prayer Breakfast at the IX Center on May 8th. We're very excited about it. An Army veteran and who was part of the Black Hawk Down battle of Mogadishu.
Oh, okay.
Jeff Struker, he's the guest speaker. It's going to be incredible. Keep your hands and your eyes on your bacon if you're near Ron.
Amen.
But we
Fair
have our
warning.
winners.
We have our winners.
Oh, it's a new drum roll.
Yes,
He
it
got a new
is.
snare drum. Whoa.
Much shorter one.
Wait.
Whoa.
Wait, I was throwing up. We got to start it off again. Okay, we have a brand new snare drum. Take it away, drummer.
Damaris Augusto, Aaron Sturbaum, Carolyn Yoder, Mary Kay Pitson, Alex Miller, Nidra Moore, and Peter Miller. Yay!
You all get to sit at our tables. And
Right.
you can't all sit by Ron. Let's just say that out of the gate. You're going to
Yeah.
be forced to sit. Some of you will have to sit by me. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Very exciting. So we will reach out to them, right?
Yes, I will be reaching out to you with the information where to go, when, the time, the table number. Okay?
And again, Ron will be passing a plate at the table, not for your money.
For your bacon.
Yeah.
'Cause they never give you enough bacon at these things.
No, they don't.
Yes, they never give you. It's like, what am I going to do with these 2 slivers of thin bacon?
It's so true.
But last year, I was impressed with Ron. He found a way to get a lot of extra bacon. I don't remember how you did it.
It's Ron. He's charming.
He just asked.
Well, our listener Jeff and his wife went over to one of the servers and asked for more bacon.
Someone's
for me.
doing Ron's bidding.
Did they really?
Yes, they did.
I forgot about
They're
that.
doing Ron's bidding.
And they actually were like, sure, we'll bring him more bacon.
They got a
I
bunch.
think they had to work him a little bit, but
And you were on the radio, which helped. How much did you get?
oh, it wasn't like a whole heaping plate full, but
Ron had to schmooze the table by himself last year.
Wow,
now
you're
you've got more people to help you.
going to have more people asking the servers to bring you more bacon. It's going to get overwhelming. So very exciting. You can still get your tickets if you want to buy your tickets and join us on May 8th at the IX Center. You can text the word pray to
Prayer.
440 prayer to 440-546-2255. 440-546-2255. A couple of different things we did this week I wanted to revisit quickly since we have time. We did the definitive ranking of Easter candy.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't here for that.
Tanks wasn't either. He's probably like, I don't eat candy.
That's not true. I eat candy, but I don't. Let's just see what the Easter candy is. I'm probably sure. I'm sure I don't eat Easter candy.
Well, but before I tell you what's on the
Egg-shaped
list,
Reese's.
is what? Top?
It's probably top 2.
Egg-shaped Reese's is your...
Yeah, I've got my top 3 already in my brain.
Okay, let's hear your top 3. Go.
I don't know what order. I haven't thought about it that
It's
deeply.
a tie right now.
Yeah. Egg-shaped Reese's, Cadbury cream eggs, and Starburst jelly beans.
Look at that.
Very good.
That is not bad at all.
Okay. Tanks, favorite ones. Circus peanuts.
Like for Easter, I don't eat Easter candy, so I don't have like a Easter candy list.
Okay, then what's your favorite candy?
Oh,
It's like we've asked you the hardest question
How
in
do
your
you
life,
not know?
bro.
because it's
We
a
asked you
tie.
a Bible
Okay,
question.
give us
and you-
both.
Well, yeah, the Bible is different than my candy. So I like, if I had just candy, now if I had to do an Easter candy, I would agree with Lauren that the Starburst jelly beans
So
would
good.
definitely bang
Like,
hard for sure.
Regular
So
jelly
good.
beans
No,
deserve to be in the
No,
garbage.
Brock's.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, those are horrible.
Starburst jelly beans, yes.
Starburst jelly beans, they go hard. But
Yes.
listen, so I'll add that in there. But my favorite candy is peanut M&Ms. I eat those
Yum.
by the king size bag.
Peanut butter is
Family
better.
share size.
No, peanuts.
Peanut butter is better.
Sure, if that's what you believe in your life.
Lauren agrees
really
with
not.
me.
This horrible.
What?
The peanut
Peanut
is the
butter
best.
M&Ms are better.
Yeah.
Because if you got the
Honestly.
skill, you break apart the chocolate from around the peanut first, and then you eat the peanut with it. But anyway,
Why wouldn't you just eat chocolate and peanuts if you're going to do it that way?
No, I just like that. No, so I don't know. I don't know. You ask me. Now, my next favorite
So it's a
is
tie.
my next favorite is what I just had yesterday, and it's anything sour from the gummy. So I like sour gummy Jolly Ranchers.
Yeah, those are good.
Those go hard. Sour
Sour Patch Kids.
No, sour gummy Skittles. Those go hard.
I've had those. Those are
And
delicious.
What about
the
gummy
sour,
worms?
the sour Starburst. Those go hard. The gummy ones.
But you're not going trolley. You're not a trolley guy.
I don't even know what that is.
Like
Sour Bright crawlers.
crawlers or the gummy worms,
No.
You don't know what
I
that
do
is?
like, I do
Or the
like the
octopi.
sour straws, but that's it.
sour punch straws.
Yeah, those I'll eat those every
How
now
are
and
you
then.
unaware of the trolley brand? Do you open your eyes in the candy aisle?
Also, that you call it trolley is funny to me.
Was it trolley?
generic?
What do
I
you
always
call it?
said trolley.
Is it a generic version?
No, this is name brand.
You should know it.
This is name brand.
By the way, circling back, how is it Brax? Is that how you pronounce it?
I say Brock's.
How
The hot dogs?
What? No, the jelly beans.
Those are brats.
Oh. Oh, gosh, my bad. As you were. Carry on.
So
No.
Yeah. It's hard to even follow that. I was only going to see this is totally not worth it anymore, but I'm asking how they're still in business.
I don't know, because they're bad.
Like, those jelly beans are disgusting.
Yeah, and Starburst has really outdone them, so...
Yeah, well, why?
Brock's is a lot of candies. They make a lot of hard candies.
But do they make any good? Like, they also make those round peppermints.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Grandma's like those.
The
And
round peppermints are
butterscotches.
soft when you...
No. Nope, the ones that are hard all the way through.
Starlight Mints?
Oh, those... Hey, but hold on now. I mean, that's like a famous... famous
That's
church
what your
candy.
grandma gives you when,
Yes.
when she says she has candy, and you're like, okay.
But I used to like that, though.
Did I ever tell you guys, not this past Christmas, the one before, our neighbor, she had lived there for 50 years.
Oh, right. I
She
remember
recently
her.
moved because she wasn't able to take the stairs anymore in her house.
Oh.
But she, for Christmas, brought us, you know that green styrofoam kind of stuff, like craft styrofoam?
Yeah.
She made a tree and then put push pins with those mints on the tree.
Oh, how cute.
It's really cute,
nice.
but
So
like,
then we had like 75 mints.
if I was craving candy and someone was like, "Oh, I've got candy here," and handed me one of those, I go, "All right."
I used to love
We
it.
still have those mints. It's on the way out. Take one as you go.
And we still have them for a reason.
Yeah, because I don't
Yeah,
eat them
it
off the time.
takes-
It's not candy. It's
it
a
takes
mint.
time to eat 75 mints.
That's a very important point, Lauren. Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's not candy.
It's a mint, which is a different category.
Correct. That's
Is
in
it
the
though?
gum category.
I don't know.
Oh, interesting point.
No.
I'm with you on this new idea.
You think those mints are candy?
Well, I mean, you said
Te-
mints in
technically,
general.
our,
'Cause-
our definition of candy has just changed. Once upon a time, those would have been
No.
a delicacy.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
had like my other guilty pleasure that people are really strange about is I buy the big multi-flavored colored Tic Tacs, and I just eat them, and everybody's like, "Why are you just eating a container
Do you
of
chew
mints?"
them, or do you
and I'm
suck on
like,
them?
it's little candies, and they're 0 calories. It's a guilty pleasure. If you want a lot of sodium, but if you want 0-calorie candy,
I would
that's
put Tic Tacs in the mint category.
Yeah, I would too.
candy
except
to
the
me.
orange
It's
ones.
colorful with different flavors.
Are you
That's a
crunching
candy.
them?
Yeah. What do you do? What do you?
That's not good.
I
for
haven't
you.
had
eat
Tic
'em.
Tacs in a long time.
Just eat them.
I don't think that's what you're supposed to do
The
with a Tic
orange
Tac.
ones, candy category. Other ones, mint
Oh,
category.
when I said the multi-flavored, the tropical flavor, so it's the orange ones in there. It's the
Oh, then
blue
yeah, that's
one.
candy.
That's candy.
Do you chew a Tic Tac?
Yes.
I'm about to say you suck. Okay, you ever see the wood? Or you ever see the wood with the when they come with the candy? Like you got to get candy. You suck, not chew. Okay, you got to. Yo, listeners, you know what I'm talking about. If you ever watch the wood, give me a fire emoji. If you understand, when you're picking your mints, you got to get mints that you suck,
Watch
not
the
chew.
what?
Chew, not suck. Come on now.
Well, mints, by definition, I don't think you chew them. That's not a mint then.
You chew on those round grandma mints?
No, you gotta chew. I don't chew on any. I don't. Wait, what? Like I gotta think about it. Wait a minute. I chew on all my candy.
Grandma hands you the peppermint, and you start chomping.
Oh
on
yeah,
it.
no, yeah. I suck long enough to be able to. I'm like
To bite it.
That's not
You
good
wanna
for your
bite it.
teeth.
chunking off little pieces. I'm chipping at that thing like a chisel.
That's not good for your teeth, sir.
I mean, my teeth are strong. I open bottles with my teeth.
Oh, my.
Any
De-
dentists, please chime in.
You know what I'm saying? I got my teeth are strong.
Okay.
I don't think teeth are like something that you can make stronger.
You also can't make them weaker.
Yeah, I've been lifting, at the gym with my teeth to make them stronger.
My teeth are strong.
Brandy, I do stand corrected. Mentos are mints that you can chew. Correct. You're right.
Yes.
That is true.
Yes. It's off in the middle, though.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I do like Mentos.
It's also fun when you drop it in soda and it explodes or whatever. But
I've never done that.
But, okay, so
You've
if
never
I'm
done that? You got to do that.
If I'm
It's a lot
craving
of fun.
candy, I want sweet.
So you're going to go the fruity Mentos.
Well, I'm just supporting your theory that a peppermint is not candy.
That's right.
It's its own category. It's over
Yes.
there. It's not sweet.
No, a mint is its own thing.
Yeah, it's not candy.
But you included Sour Patch in with candy, and that is not sweet. That is sour.
Well, but sour also, it's sweet and sour. Like,
Yeah, of course.
like at the
It's the
restaurant.
definition of a Sour Patch.
And ladies and gentlemen,
it's
this
both.
is how
They're sour, then they're sweet.
definitions change over time because different people culturally begin to change the definitions of stuff. And that's how because it's all candy. Oh, hey, listen, that's all candy. It's a mint. Mints are sweet. They candy.
All right, let me check. Survey says
you have
incorrect.
non-sweet
Mints aren't
mints.
sweet.
You have non-sweet mints. What are they?
Mints are minty.
That's
Obviously.
it's almost
You'd notice if there was no sweet in there.
it's almost a spice.
What?
Spearmint is.
Come on now.
What?
It's a spice.
I'm with you on that one.
It's a spice.
That hits you. Open up your pores.
Yeah.
So wait. So what's the Halls?
What?
What?
What's a Halls?
It's Halls is for when you have a sore throat, bro.
Yeah, that's
That's a cough
candy.
drop.
It's minty.
That's medicinal.
Yeah, menthol. That's what that is. That'll numb your throat.
That do the same thing spearmint do.
It does. It does. Correct.
Which is the same thing peppermint does.
So now Halls.
How is peppermint and spearmint that different?
I'm saying they're the
flavor.
same.
Thank you, Lauren.
I've never had a spearminty peppermint. I ain't never had a peppermint open me up.
We need a minute. We'll be back. Here's Ron.
There's joy in the journey. It's Mornings with Brian from the North Coast Family Foundation sponsored studios. Good morning from Moody Radio Cleveland, WCRF Cleveland, WVMS Sandusky, WVML Millersburg, WVMN Newcastle, WVME Meadville, WVMU Ashtabula, and with the Moody Radio app or at moodyradio.org/Cleveland.
Leaders and royalty from around the world will be at the Vatican Saturday for the funeral of Pope Francis. It's 8:05 with Moody Radio News. I'm Ron Eastwood. A 24-hour no-fly zone is already in place over Rome, and fighter jets are on the standby. Police sniper units are being deployed on the rooftops along the avenue leading to St. Peter's Square, and ambulances will be on hand. Early voting continues for Ohio's May 6th election. Springfield local schools and Twinsburg city schools are among those districts that are hoping to find favor with the voters on their ballots. In the Rubber City, competitive Democratic primary contests are being held for Ward 1 and Ward 8 council posts. And the city of Akron and Akron's Tree Commission are celebrating National Arbor Day today. A special tree planting event will be held at the Joy Park Community Center from 5 to 6 p.m. In sports, the Pirates were touched by the Angels 4-3. The Cavaliers' Evan Mobley was named the NBA's Defensive Player of the Year. And the first round of the NFL draft is in the books. The Browns traded down from number 2 to number 5 and selected Michigan defensive tackle Mason Graham. The Steelers selected Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon with the number 21 pick. Here's your Moody Radio Cleveland forecast. Showers likely today. We'll see some isolated thunderstorms early this morning, and then there's a chance of thunderstorms rumbling through this afternoon. It's going to be cooler with our highs in the lower 70s. At last check, light rain, 62 degrees in Cleveland, Akron, and Canton. Light rain in 61. And light rain is in Youngstown as well, where it is also 61 degrees.
It's time for your moron moment.
While the recent Earth Day put some of Ohio's most natural above-ground beauty on display, Ohio Caverns allows visitors to observe the state's hidden beauty. With its deepest point 103 feet underground, this gorgeous destination has the bragging rights of being the deepest cave in Ohio. America's most colorful caverns are filled with crystal stalactites, stalagmites, and other fascinating formations. And that's your Moron Moment. And you'll find that on our Facebook and Instagram. It's 8:08. With Moody Radio News, I'm Ron Eastwood.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
What's goody, yo? Yo, what's goody? It's always goody, yo.
DJ Ronnie E. came up with that mix. It's for the one and only Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. from Reach City Church in studio with us.
Yo, what's goody, yo?
And it's Follow-Up Friday where you get to set the topic. You can send us a topic or follow up on something. And we had somebody not only send us a topic, but also a photo to go with the topic.
Lauren from Cleveland said, "Okay, y'all, I made my husband listen. He lets his pug, heavy on the his pug sleep in our bed right between us every night. It occludes my covers and grosses me out. The pug constantly licks his lips and makes noises that gross me out. I've been battling this for 10 years.
Oh.
Do I need to submit to the pug, or does the boot need to go to the dog? Help me."
And then she sent us a picture of this sweet puppy.
Then she sent us a picture of said pug.
Look at him.
It's not cute.
You're not cute.
I'm better than that.
I wanna meet this nice boy. He's got kind of a funny looking eye.
Look at the eye boogers that's going to be on your covers.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
I think it's funny he's licking his lips.
Frown. So again, it occludes my covers, grosses me out. The pug constantly licks his lips and makes noises that gross me out.
Yeah, pugs are loud. Just breathing for a pug.
I've been battling this for 10 years. Do I need to submit to the pug, or does he need to boot the dog?
The pug's like...
The fact that you said you told your husband to listen, I'm going to give the freedom to say this. Normally, I don't tell wives what to do if it goes against what their husbands do. It's just not my position in the world of non-spiritual things. But since you told him to listen, I'm assuming this is more light conversation in your household. Yeah, man, the pug got to go. The pug got to go. That is nasty. Having these animals sleeping in your beds, under your covers, on top of your covers, under your covers, on your feet. That is just nastiness to me. The pug's got to go.
Yeah, no, I am not a dog person at all. I would not tolerate a dog in my bed. I think I don't hate dogs, but I don't want one because I think they smell, and I do think they're kind of gross.
We need to know the pug's name.
Yeah, we do.
We need to personalize the pug.
We need to personalize the pug. Right now, it's the eye booger pug, and them eye boogers gonna be on your
pillow.
My kids get in my bed sometimes, and because I know they drool sometimes, I be like,
Not on my pillow. Go on your mom's pillow.
Yeah, I push my kids off my pillow and let them lay on the sheet. Like, lay on the sheet.
No pillows.
Okay, so I mean, it's been 10 years. I mean, how long do pugs live? Maybe you just have to wait it out.
If I were to look at that pug, he's gonna live a long time.
He's gonna get another pug.
No.
Scoochie.
The dog's name is Scoochie.
I love that. That's actually adorable.
And I would be scoot out my bed, Scoochie. Scoot.
I wonder if that's his nickname or if that's his given name. Scoochie.
Someone said
that name.
she's already submitted to the pug.
Yeah, 10 years. That pug. Yeah.
Now, I have to tell you.
So Pastor Tanks is get the pug out of the bed.
Oh, day one. The marriage night, we annulling this thing. Just joking. That's not serious. That's a joke, guys. But that pug got to go.
Sarah and I have had a season where our little Yorkie poo slept in bed with us. It was very sweet.
So the pug staying?
Well, I'm just saying that I don't want to leave this poor guy all on his own with Mr. Scoochie. I mean...
Can Scoochie sleep in, like, his little bed on the floor?
Scoochie will be heartbroken when he's relegated to the floor.
Scoochie's going to start whining if he has to start sleeping on the bed.
Can you imagine, Pastor, if you slept in a bed for 10 years and then suddenly you're on the floor?
No, I'm a human. I couldn't imagine it because as a human, I'm sleeping where I'm supposed to be sleeping. So, yes, it would be wild to put a human on the floor because it's not where we sleep.
I wonder what brave Sir Ronald over there is doing. You guys like animals. Are there animals sleeping in the bed?
Oh, no. They don't belong in the bed.
Ever?
Never.
What about snuggling up when you're like watching a show?
Your cat Yoko, isn't that her name?
Yes, Yoko.
She's not allowed in the bed.
No. But since the knee replacement, Dana has spent a lot of nights down on the chair, the recliner, and Yoko sleeps at her feet down there, which is fine. That's away from me.
That is on the chair.
I'm so glad that you guys.
This Lauren would be your friend.
Yes. We have further information. The dog's name is Mr. Smith Pugglesworth, a.k.a. Scoochie.
That's exactly what you and Eddie would do.
Yes. I've always wanted a French bulldog and name him Socrates.
I'd rather have an English bulldog.
And
those things are so
sleep?
cute.
Not in my bed.
Amen.
Sarah has this
I'm
thing
not
now
a
where,
dog in the bed kind of gal.
Yeah, and we aren't anymore, where if they're on the floor in the bedroom and they start licking their lips or something, Sarah's done.
Yeah, the noises they make.
Sarah's always like, get out.
Yeah.
We used to have a dog, a medium-sized dog. He's 50 pounds. His name is Mosby. And if he starts, licking, making noises, and he'd sleep on the floor in our room, my husband would be like, Mosby! Mose, get out! You gotta go. This is just annoying.
Now,
It's annoying.
Our sweet Gunner, a bunch of you have met my Gunner. He's a pound puppy. We got him from the Cuyahoga County Animal Shelter.
Yeah, he's a sweet boy.
He has a flatulence problem, poor guy.
Yeah, he's out.
Oh no! Oh no!
And it's he'll like sit down and you're like, dude, there's people here.
Well, Daria did tell us that when she stayed at your house, they were trying to get into the room and she wouldn't let them. So it seems like they've got a habit.
I accidentally left the door just cracked. And I
they
came
barged
in and they were both on the bed. I said, oh no, we're not having this.
Well, it's like when you have a
I stayed at
babysitter.
Brian's house to dog sit when he was on vacation.
Yeah, and You know how people are babysitters. They try to push the envelope. These guys, because each night the routine is they hang out with us and then we kick them out.
Doesn't sound like it to me.
We do kick them out. We do. Now, if our station manager, Josh Vio, was here.
Oh, well.
They're Yorkie poo.
Well, Taki,
she
rules
owns the house.
the world.
We had dinner with them a couple weeks ago. She has her little stool that goes right up to the table, and she eats out of her little bowl at the table.
Taki rules the world.
Yeah, Taki's in
That's
charge.
disgusting.
She
Bro,
sleeps.
like this stuff that some people do with dogs is just flat out disgusting.
When Taki comes to my house, I have two big dogs. I mean, one of them's over 100 pounds. The other one's probably 60, 70 pounds.
And they sleep in your bed?
No, Taki's in charge. Taki is, I think, a 3-pound toy Yorkie.
Very small.
And she is in charge. Those two are scared of her. And she's in charge. She sleeps in the bed. She's got her stool.
She's got her stool.
Yes.
Okay, so what's our advice for Lauren from Cleveland? Does she submit to the pug?
Mr. Pugglesworth?
Or does Mr. Smith Pugglesworth get the boot?
I like what the one listener wrote in. Marriage counseling. That's my advice. Marriage counseling. You guys need counseling.
Mr. Pugglesworth seems like a sweet boy. I don't know. I mean,
Mr. Smith Pugglesworth. You get it right.
Sorry. Scoochie?
Scoochie.
Would he sleep in your bed, Brian? Whatever your answer is has to be your answer to her.
No.
We're going to go around. What's your answer?
My answer is if it's affecting your sleep, you got to get him out.
Pastor Tanks, we know your answer. Daria?
He's out.
Ron?
Out.
Me? Out.
There you have it.
I don't want
the outs
the
have
noises. I don't want the snoring. I am sure pugs do.
The panel has convened. We have spoken. The dog's got to go.
This is the board of directors for Mr. Pugglesworth.
The outs have it.
But I will express sympathy to your incredible husband for having a big heart for the dog. The canine species is wonderful.
Yes, we love
Mr.
dogs.
Pugglesworth seems cute. He's a sweet boy. Be nice to him.
No. Don't abuse the animal. But the animal's abusing you right now.
The standard's much higher. Love sweet Pugglesworth.
We love the dogs, but not in the bed.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Sorry, Mr. Pugglesworth.
There it is.
Hope you're not listening.
440-546-2255.
To D.L. Moody and Emma Dreyer to start the Moody Bible Institute. He's honored that dream for almost 140 years. 51,000 days.
51,000 mornings rise anew.
Giving Day is a day we set aside each year to thank God for that faithfulness. This year, it's on April 29th. From this campus, thousands of graduates have served in every spot on earth, spreading God's gospel of love. You can give now and also access a devotional and prayer guide written by students and faculty at moodygivingday.org.
51,000 dreams will keep.
God has been faithful to Moody for 51,000 days. Will you join this day of thanks? Give now at moodygivingday.org. moodygivingday.org.
Moody Radio is thankful for listeners and support from businesses like Duma Meats and Farm Market. Duma Meats and Farm Market, supporting Moody Radio in Cleveland and surrounding areas. More information about Duma Meats and Farm Market is at dumameats.com.
Moody Radio is on the air thanks to the support of listeners and Hawkins Sales. They've been serving our region's electrical industry for over 40 years. More information about Hawkins Sales is at hawkinssales.com.
It's a no negativity zone on Moody Radio Cleveland and Mornings with Brian.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
8:25 WCRF. Don't forget, we have a Mother's Day contest running where you, for yourself if you're a mom, or for your mom in your life, could win a package that includes a spa gift card and a restaurant gift card. And it's not to like White Castle. This is nice restaurants. So you want to enter for your chance to win? Text the word MOM to 440-546-2255. Text MOM to 440-546-2255. Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. from Reach City Church in studio with us.
Hey, how are y'all doing?
What are you laughing at?
Did you say White Castle as a restaurant?
Yeah, well, technically, it's a fast food restaurant.
Okay. Those exist still, though.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's a thing.
Yeah, flavor holes.
What?
5 flavor holes in a White Castle
What?
hamburger. You don't know about that?
No.
It's really how they save on giving you any meat. But there's actually 5 holes in the hamburger. So
Why? They're already small enough.
They say because what they do is they cover the griddle in onions, and they cook the burger
Over
on the
the
onions. And the theory is that the onion gets into all the meat with the flavor holes. But I think what it is they're getting away with giving you less meat.
Yeah, that's not how cooking works.
Not how cooking works.
I can't believe you guys don't know about
Or
White
physics.
Castle.
I mean, holes by definition can't have flavor.
We do know about White Castle. We just don't know the details.
Yeah, we don't know.
well,
You got the
now you know.
You got the playbook.
All right, so we had a topic come in, Lauren.
Yes, a question from a listener about something you posted on Facebook. I'm going to read, or why don't you read it? It's in your voice. You read your post to us.
And this was 16 hours ago.
So 16 hours.
And someone had a question about what this means.
Oh, I said these unqualified preachers really trying to be so relevant. Yeah, and I talk like that, y'all. Anyway, these unqualified
That's why I'm making
preachers.
you read it. I would sound so dumb.
I could read it if you want.
No, thanks.
These unqualified preachers really trying to be so relevant. They reference Jesus to the cultural acronym of YN. That is wild.
And the person said what?
What is YN?
Yeah. So
I didn't know either, by the way.
So I can't say what a YN is on air, but a YN refers to a young N-word without the ER. It's the GA. But that's what YN references. And so it's a cultural acronym that that young people use for themselves, but also that older people use kind of the reference, like when you see a lot of just wild stuff happening out here, it's kind of just like, yo, them young out here tripping. Like that's kind of the idea of
kids
YN.
these days are so bad, whatever it is. This version of it is YN.
Yeah. That's the new
So it's not like a
phraseology.
term of endearment. You're kind of using it kind of a little bit as like a knock on them.
Yeah, a young person probably would use it as a term of endearment.
Okay.
But people my age, it's like it's meant to be like, man, what's up with you? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so then you've heard some young preachers using that. How are they using it and in what context?
Yeah, so the context of this post was, man, somebody tagged me in a post, and the comments was wild to me, but somebody tagged me in a post of a preacher that made a reference to saying Jesus, Hebrew, he was Yeshua, right? So he said, and what's that start with? A Y. And then he said, and where's Jesus from? They said Nazareth. And they said, and what that start with? They said N. So then he went on to say, so Jesus was the first YN. And that phraseology
I'm
was
sorry.
so
I only got that now
horrible.
when you explained it. You explained it off the air, and I didn't quite understand. Actually making a new the acronym off the letters.
It's trying
talk about eisegesis.
It's trying to relevant Jesus. And in the comments, Christians was like, well, he didn't say he was that. So why y'all making, he said he was saying that he's Jesus of Nazareth, if y'all making him say the other one. And I told one of the listeners, I said, it's wild that we're even having to debate this as being crazy is not even worth a conversation, but I'll entertain it in one post. And I said, either way, we know that he was referencing Jesus to the cultural acronym. The reason we know that is because he said Jesus was the first YN. Well, was there another Yeshua of Nazareth? No. So he's not talking about Yeshua of Nazareth when he says he's the first YN. I said Yeshua of Nazareth. He's talking about the cultural acronym, which is wild. But my post was bigger than just calling Jesus. It's the lack of reverence that this generation of people have for the names of God to begin with. Like, God has given us a lot of names. We should take the time to learn those names and what they mean, because they actually have relevance to our lives and how we view God and how we operate in the world. But preachers want to be so relevancy should go out the window when it comes to lacking reverence to who God is.
Would you compare this then to, like, for what people said, Jesus is my BFF, my best friend forever?
Yeah, I think all that stuff is weird.
He's already named himself. Why don't you just use the names that he's already given you to use instead of making up your own?
I've seen Jesus is my homeboy. People say that, right?
He's given you plethora and plenty of names for you to call him in all different circumstances.
I mean, some people go, come on, you guys. We're just saying, like, he's my friend. Like,
Here's why, though. Because all it does is it moves the character of God down to a more palatable place with you. Because Jesus being my homeboy, well, let's talk about how I engage with my homeboys.
It's easier to digest.
Do I reverence my homeboys as holy? Do I reverence my homeboys as my Lord? No, I treat them as my equals. And God is not my equal. He is God by himself and all alone. So now I'm not going to look at somebody who says those things and be like, because I am 40 now and I get like I used to like the God is dope things. And in my older age, I'm kind of being like, I used to argue with my father-in-law about why nothing's wrong with it. But as I get older, I keep being like, I don't know. But I still say it because it's like a term that just roll off my tongue because I said it so many years. But I think so I'm not going to be running up on people and like, God is my homeboy or anything like that and be like, oh my goodness, you're just a sinner little you. No, it ain't that deep for me to like want to correct in the moment. But it continues to show like, man, there is a way to talk about God that he's given us. And y'all don't even know his names.
Yeah, and Israelites even took out letters so that they would be more...
reference his name even more.
Yes, it was like, oh, we know your name, but we need to have even more reference, so we're not even going to say it.
And we're out here referencing him to derogatory.
Right.
Because I don't care how you feel about the N-word in general. At the end of the day, it's a word that we really shouldn't be using to speak to ourselves. Now, I'm not trying to get it, but it's the same, but it's the cultural understanding. Women call themselves the B word. And they're like, we're just reclaiming the power of the word. Some words don't need reclaiming. We just need to not reference ourselves those way.
And if you start thinking of Jesus as, your friend or your homeboy or whatever, then the more you talk like that, the more you actually think like that. And it starts to change the way that you actually view Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for some it's well-intentioned, but it becomes a half-truth. Because while Jesus does love you unconditionally and care for you, and he's with you in your struggles, he's also holy and righteous and perfect, and he's someone you should fear. So we miss that second half and only lean on one, right? Is that
yeah?
Because even think about, here's a cool thing: Jesus called Abraham his friend. Guess what? Abraham never called him his friend, right? Because there was a reverence of Abraham to him. You know what I'm saying? And I just said, so I don't know. That was the point of that post to the person that asked. It's a frustration of the lack of reverence for who God is. And I said it and I meant it, unqualified preachers that want to be relevant in the pulpit instead of teaching people who God is in character and nature. We want to make reverent, viral, cool sayings. And what's so sad is that then a room full of followers of Christ get excited about that stuff instead of being like, what you just, hey, and we make this okay. We have a problem with reverencing God in our culture, and we need to address, and by our culture, listeners, I'm not talking, I know I'm talking and I'm black, and no, when I say our culture, I mean our all American culture does not reverence God. Because to your point, we can go as far as the YN statement, but to your point, it's like, yeah, but on the other side of a culture, he's my homeboy and my best friend. I'm like, yeah, and that's crazy wild to me as well. Like, it's
don't say
bad altogether.
Jesus is my boyfriend.
That's even really weird. Like,
that's worse.
What type of weird stuff are we on?
Yeah.
Well, doesn't the Bible say, and this is what you'll get in the comments, well, doesn't the Bible say that he's my husband? Yeah. Like, go sit down.
We got to take a break. 440-546-2255.
Wondering what it looks like to apply deep doctrinal truths to your life? Check out the course on the Book of Romans from Moody and Rich, our continuing education platform. This course will cover topics like the universality of sin, union with Christ, the Christian's service, and much more. This is a text-based, self-paced e-course that you can enroll in today for just $34.99. Learn more and enroll at moody.edu/enrich.
Today, there is a disciple-making church planting movement that's taken root in 40 countries around the world. It's called the Timothy Initiative, and its mission is to see a healthy church planted in every village, everywhere. Since 2007, over 200,000 churches have been planted through the work of the Timothy Initiative, but there's more work to be done. Take your place in the Timothy Initiative. Go to ttiglobal.org.
Join the conversation by call or text at 440-546-2255. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
Oh, Pastor Tanks, sorry.
Hey.
That's your song.
It's
Brian,
my
it'd be really
song.
helpful if you could read.
Well, someday.
Hey. Yeah. It's pure. For sure. I'm down.
He keeps it real, showing love, showing worth.
Yep.
He's got his Bible, but his walk's got sway. Shares the word of God, but he don't play.
Yeah.
Urban streets gave him the wisdom to see how to be strong and how to set people free. He's got the fire and it's burning inside.
Come on.
I don't know the song, dude.
Too high.
A family man, yeah, he stands by their side. Faith and love, that's the
Hey,
battle
right now.
he's
Come on.
fighting.
Pass the tanks. He's leading the way.
In Reach City, you light up the day
From the block to the pulpit. Urban street. But you love your people. You love your wife. In Cleveland. The change. Pastor Tanks, you plant the seeds. Hey.
There it is. Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr. with us.
Let's go. Ron, you the GOAT for that.
Thank you.
And his wife's reaction to that was, huh.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah. She just,
Her and Eddie Cuevas could be best friends.
Put them in a room together. I don't know what would happen.
Nothing.
Silence. A very quiet room.
Yes.
And Eddie listens right about now. And
Yeah.
he's probably sitting there going, yeah.
If Ron made a song about me, I'd be like, cool. That's nice.
You like it?
Cool. If Ron made a song about Eddie, I'd be like, oh my gosh! He made that for you! And I wouldn't get that reaction.
You two need to start a support group together.
Maybe.
You guys can get
Spouses of
excited for each other.
unenthusiastic people.
Yes.
What do you say?
You guys could, you know, if you need someone to get excited about something, call Lauren.
Oh, I got you. All right, Lauren.
We'll get excited with
for
each other.
There you go.
Like, Lauren, Dee Dee just said that's nice about my brand new pair of shoes.
Not she.
Shoes, it's different.
Which is so wild because we're two sneakerheads
Uh-huh.
and we're drastically different. I get a pair of shoes, I show my wife, I'm like, yeah, babe, feel it. You see the fabric on this is different, da 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 da, and she'd be like, it's a pair of shoes. And here's the thing, and my wife loves shoes, but it's just like it's a pair
When
of
they're
shoes.
your shoes, it's just
You know what I'm saying? She go get a pair of shoes and she don't tell me she got. That's another conversation. And I see him, I'll be like, okay, I see you. I see you.
Exactly.
Fire. Okay.
Yes. I'm like, oh my gosh, you look so cute.
And then
Look at
even
those
she looks at
shoes.
me when I respond to her shoes like, it's a pair of shoes. I'm
Yes.
like, I can't even be excited for you. Get excited that I'm excited for you.
Now, it goes
feel
even
seen.
deeper. Where like one time, Lauren and I were dealing with some serious drama, and I was talking to her, and I'm like, you know what? I would love Eddie's insights into this. Could you talk to Eddie? I respect Eddie. And so we talk later. I go, what did Eddie say? She goes, I told him everything. I go, what did he say? He said, losers. I was like, what else did he say? Like, what's his insight?
That's all.
That's it.
Losers, period. And there was nothing else
that
after
was the end of the conversation.
That's hilarious.
And I think I might have like dug for my like, well, like, what do you think about it?
And I was legit asking for his spiritual insights. And that was,
was his spiritual insight.
It was. And he was, honestly, okay, he's probably listening right now. He was right.
He was.
But I wanted more, okay?
I know.
I needed more.
I did. All
And
right.
he'll be like, what do you want me to say? There's nothing else to say.
You said
Words.
Words.
Words are nice.
I gave you a word.
I speak enough for the
440-546.
two of us, so.
2255. We got our Friday song coming up in a few minutes. It's Follow-Up Friday, so you can submit topics or you can revisit something we brought up or haven't seen. In fact,
Yes.
very unique submission here
Yes.
that we had to
First
research
time
during the
texter.
song. Yay!
Hey.
I wanted to know what you guys think about the KFC commercial of taking a human and dumping them into oil and cooking them. What does that have to do with selling chicken?
Now, that sounded made up when we first saw it.
Yeah.
And we were like, are you okay? But no, actually, this is a thing.
Yes, so I went typed it into the Google, as you can do.
The Google.
First thing it popped up, actually, was a TikTok video of someone talking about the commercial with the commercial below. So I obviously went and looked at the comments, and people are kind of panicking about it a little bit.
What types of panic did you see from Christians?
They're mocking God, that this is satanic, this is spiritual warfare. Christ is coming. This is very disturbing.
I don't know that KFC is mentioned in Revelation at all.
I just laughed at the end of it.
Yeah.
So can you describe this commercial?
Yeah, not really, because it's weird.
It's really
It's old-timey people that look like, I don't know, Renaissance era. And this big giant egg is just in this forest, and the egg opens, and there's something in it. I don't know if it's a person. Can't really tell. And then they take the person and dunk them in a lake.
It looks like a lake, but it's actually hot oil.
Yes. It's hot oil, and they dunk that person in there or something, and then the person comes out as a piece of fried chicken.
And it does have like a flavor of people are in the woods. There's people gathered dressed the same. Like it has this kind of cult feel to it.
Yes.
Like people are culting around this giant egg.
Culting.
Yeah.
Culture's gonna cult.
Yeah. And
It's a very weird, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Yep. So then What we did miss is that there was a chicken in the woods, and now they're dumping this person in the oil, and he becomes a piece of fried chicken.
It looks like a giant chicken tender, really.
Yeah.
A quite delicious looking
flat.
one, to be
it's
honest.
a flat.
It's a flat. So
a flat is that? Wait, it's when you have two parts of the wing. You're saying that's
you got
the flat
drum
part,
and then you have the flat.
So the question.
I like the drum better, but
I'm with you. I don't. The flat.
What does it have to do with selling chicken?
Nothing.
Nothing.
no. I mean, it's doing what you do in advertising, which is getting attention because they just
And now
got it
people
from
are
us.
talking about it.
Yeah, and that's
And
marketing. That's how you
someone
get attention.
he texted in, and also on all the comments was Soylent Green.
Yeah, you heard what that's made of.
What's that? I don't know.
It's an old movie starring Charlton Heston. In the end, Soylent Green is made of people. It's like this special food that's made to keep, and
What
nobody
people?
knows what it is.
Oh, okay.
And I just ruined the ending. Spoiler alert: it's made of people.
There's a lot of comments about Soylent Green, like, "Oh wow, they're actually telling us what they're doing. There's human bodies in KFC chicken."
Yeah,
So-
if that were true, I don't think they'd be telling us.
Yeah, and so a lot of Christians get fired up about stuff like
Is it
this.
satanic?
No.
Pastor
Well, I
Shanks?
mean, it could be. I
Pastor
don't know.
Shanks.
Yes, there are satanic rituals out here, I'm sure, that have human sacrifices. I don't think that the KFC commercial was trying to do a human sacrifice. I think they were doing very bad.
They're trying to be
marketing.
funny.
That was really bad. And listen, guys, I can't promise you this because I can't. But I'm like really, 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 really certain that your chicken isn't a human. Like I'm very, 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 very certain. Now I can't promise you this because I'm not. But I'm pretty sure that that is definitely chicken meat.
But to me, the best response is just who cares? Like,
You don't need to be
doesn't matter.
scared of a commercial. I mean,
commercials.
You can say that's weird and that's kind of disturbing, and I'm going to disengage, but it doesn't say anything about anybody other than the weird
People who thought
minds
about
that
it.
put this together.
And I think what they want to do is exactly what's happening right now. They want people to talk about their commercial.
I literally just watched a whole breakdown on how KFC has been struggling to maintain relevance in the 2020s. They're doing anything to get attention.
And you know, our old station manager had a good saying. He said, "We need to stop being surprised when non-Christians act like non-Christians."
Totally.
And so, like, am I surprised that a secular company making food, trying to market, does something weird that might offend Christians? Not at all. And they're not Christians, so what do I care?
My thing is, I'm not really sure why we're letting it offend Christians.
What do you mean?
Like, I don't see the Christian semblance here.
Somebody could say it looks like a baptism, kind of.
Oh, okay. Going into the water. Okay.
I mean,
okay.
maybe, but that's
All
also
right.
how you make fried chicken.
I mean,
you dunk it in the water.
That's valid. I can see.
I mean,
I can see that part.
Baptism obviously is a special symbolism to Christians. Christians don't own going into liquid, though. Like, people swim, people, that's just
That's
kind
a
of
great line.
Kind of a thing that happens.
Put that on a plaque, Daria. Christians don't own going into liquid.
And it was obvious it wasn't water, it was oil.
Yeah.
How do you make fried meats? You put them in oil.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was very weird, and
I just think if
it's like
people-
odd, but...
I think it's like the Snickers commercial where a person eats the Snickers and they're hungry and they turn into a Snicker.
Yeah.
It's like, I think
weird.
that's the whole point of the KFC movie, that they want people to, they want people to eat so much chicken that they basically become the chicken.
You are what you eat.
Well, and one more layer to add. A friend of mine, Barnabas Piper, years ago coined a phrase he may have called againstness. And we in the culture have developed a reputation as Christians of here's what we're for. Nothing, actually. We're just against everything.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing.
We're always going to find something to be against.
We're against it, and we're protesting it, and we need to stop this.
Yeah.
Against KFC.
So how do we feel about that commercial? We don't feel about it. We don't care.
It was weird.
It's a dumb commercial.
I'm
Bad
mad that
marketing.
I now know it exists. But he did make me want chicken. So I've been thinking
Yeah,
about
that's
been
that's
thinking about
upsetting.
getting chicken when I leave here. That's what I've been thinking about.
But we don't want the flats.
No, drums.
That's right.
All drums only. Flat eaters are overly complicated.
Have you seen the people that they do that maneuver where they pinch and grab a part of the flat?
He talks about this every time.
And they put it in their mouth and they come out with just the bones. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
So it's a skill, but it's extra work. See, with the drum, I just bite it.
But see, when you do the whole maneuver with the flat, you get the gristle in your mouth too.
Well, see, gristle's
You're going to get
good,
Eddie
though.
texting in.
Gristle's good.
Gristle's not good.
Gristle is good. Even the gristle on my drum, I'm trying to get that boy.
He just made a gnawing. motion with his mouth.
Why are you doing that?
Because Gristle is good. Have you ever ate like ear cartilage before? Like pig ear cartilage at Kumos?
I don't even know what to say to that.
It's a restaurant that sells it.
Is it fried?
I don't know. I think it's just.
Or it's just like, would you like your cartilage raw?
You never had pig ear cartilage from like Kumos?
Can't say I have.
It's really good.
So
I'll take your word for it.
I might be a human.
When my mother-in-law, has drumsticks, like an actual chicken leg,
the big one or the small one?
The big one.
Ooh.
When she's done, it's a bone.
Yeah, it should be.
That's it.
Yeah, I know. You get
all
really
that top
riled up
stuff.
about this.
The top stuff?
Yeah, you get really riled up about this. This
Lauren,
is not the first time we've
you don't
discussed
eat the
this.
top stuff.
I do not. No.
I do.
Thank you.
I do. It's not
Daria?
the top stuff. It's cartilage.
Ron?
Gristle.
The top stuff on a drumstick?
The top stuff.
The top.
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure out what's the top. I get it now.
I get the end of it.
The hip.
Top stuff.
Yeah. No.
You don't resurface the hip of the drumstick.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I
gross.
eat it all. It's
That's
really
nasty.
Good. It's really good.
It's really good. The chicken part's the good part. All right, 8:51. We're almost out of time. Almost Friday song. A little bit more coming up.
Easter is here, and we celebrate the amazing miracle of Jesus coming back to life with Today in the Word's family study. Fact is, the story of Jesus' death and resurrection is something we can think about all year long. It's not just for Easter, it's for every day. Enjoy hands-on learning activities for the whole family. Download your free copy of this month's family study at todayintheword.com/family. Let's spend time in God's Word together.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Claire from Trinity Debt Management. I'm a counselor, and the reason that I love working for Trinity is because I get to help folks with one of the hardest problems a family can face, and that's financial difficulties. In this day and age, everything is going up. You have higher utilities, higher grocery bills, higher fuel, and those credit card interest rates have gone up as well. We can help you with that. We can help you get lower interest rates, lower monthly payments. In just a few minutes, we put together a plan that gets you out of debt and keeps you out of debt. I love my job. It's a great program and a very smart way to find debt relief.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-659-9838.
I'm Claire, a Trinity counselor. Call me and become debt-free for keeps.
1-800-659-9838.
Are you looking for candid conversation from a biblical perspective? You found it. It's Mornings with Brian on Moody Radio Cleveland.
8:52. Our Friday song is coming up in just a minute, and you may have missed it. We have a couple of big announcements. One of them is we have winners here of a contest. We also have
Winner, chicken dinner, if you will.
Oh, yeah. I see what you did there. We also have a brand new snare drum.
Yes,
in
we
the
do.
band. So we have a drum roll for the winners of the pair of tickets
Yes.
to the Cleveland Leadership Prayer Breakfast to sit at our tables.
Damaris Augusto, Aaron Sturbaum, Carolyn Yoder, Mary Kay Pitson, Alex Miller, Nidra Moore, and Peter Miller.
Hey, congratulations. You're the winners. You can still buy tickets if you want.
Do you think it's Peter Miller from our HR department? In
I
Chicago?
hope not, because whenever HR's around, the fun stops.
Hey, it could be. Peter's going to come all the way from Chicago here.
Really, you never know. He seems like a nice guy. But
He wants to have breakfast with you.
He wants to have 2 pieces of bacon with you.
Ron's going to steal my... I'm just going to give it to him so he doesn't have to steal it. I don't want him to sin.
Thank
know?
you. Thank you.
So, okay. You text the word prayer if you want to buy your tickets. We'll
You
send
can
you a
still
link.
see us there. You just, if that was not your name, you unfortunately have not won. Unless someone says, oh, I can't go. But I told you to mark your calendars.
And Lauren's making me nervous with you're going to let these people pick who they sit by, and
Well,
I'm afraid no one's
I'm
going to pick me.
picking
I'm going to
because-
sit all alone.
You know,
that's not how that works.
At some point, she's going to have to say, well, you have to sit over here because not
They all
everybody
chose Ron,
can sit by
so
Ron.
not everyone can sit by Ron.
They all chose.
Did everyone really
all?
choose Ron?
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
It was a good variety.
I wouldn't be
actually.
surprised if everyone chose
Brian
Ron.
was going to cry in the
I'd
car.
say the majority was Ron, but there was a variety. So
No one's surprised.
Okay.
Dang, B.
It's going to be like
And
Ron
then
will sit in the
some
middle of the
people
table.
said no because they didn't want to answer the question.
No.
We'll cut a hole in the middle,
One
and
person-
I'll sit there and just
Yeah, exactly.
turn from
Wait,
person to
Wait,
person.
does Ron have his own table or something?
No.
Because you know you can't actually just all sit.
Yeah, I know.
Well, yeah, but you know,
Only 2 people could sit next to Ron, right?
Well, yeah,
No,
but
there's 10 seats at a table.
Yeah, but Ron.
Right. Yeah,
Two
yes.
people can sit next to him.
somebody might prefer looking directly at him across the table.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just was going to feel bad because I know I'd lose in a popularity contest.
So they're
with
gonna leave empty
all
seats.
3 of my colleagues.
Well, I'm not telling you guys what the rest of the results were. So.
Because you know it would hurt me.
Yeah, and I'm also not going to sort it and like count them out.
She said, yeah. You see that? She did.
It's just,
She's a Christian. She can't lie on the radio.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna tell you.
I'm not going to sort them and say like, ooh, who got the most? I'm just, whoever the winner was, I'm going to put them at the person's table that they asked for.
Wait, so there are different tables?
There's 2 tables.
For us, yeah.
Okay. Well, Brian. You should sit Brian at Ron's table.
I
so he
was-
has people.
Well, I know it's going to be a lie the whole time. When if I'm
And
sitting
I'm not
by
going to
Ron.
and I'm not going to tell you, oh, this person picked
Brian,
you,
can I
this
tell you the
person
truth?
picked this
People
person.
like you. Okay, don't do that to yourself.
I
Believe.
know.
Listen.
Yeah.
I
know
can-
that your
Maybe I should
identity
show
is
you
in
the.
Christ.
Maybe I should show you the results.
And he
I
loves
can
you.
honestly picture someone writing in there, Brian, I
Aw.
guess.
No, why do you think yourself up
Ra-
that way?
Randa just texted
Yeah.
in, Brian, if I had entered the contest and won, I would have sat next to you.
Yay! See,
Now, the way she phrased it, too, though, I'm suspicious. It's like,
Why are you
Why-
always suspicious?
We just taled about not being suspicious. Lead
Don't
with
be
charity.
suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
oh, wait, what's that? A bass guitar? I hear? Oh, yeah. It is. So it's our Friday song. We're going to say goodbye and shut things down in just a few minutes. And you don't have to sit by me during the song. You can sit by Lauren if you'd like. But we know you want to sit by Ron.
Mornings with Brian. Moody Radio Cleveland. 103.3 at 6 to 9 a.m.
We got jazz hands in the studio. Hopefully you were dancing around like the First Lady of Hope Alliance Bible Church. She loves dancing to that song.
Oh, yeah. She does.
She does.
That's
yeah.
what's up.
And Pastor Leonard Tanks Jr., thanks so much for joining us all morning on Follow Up Friday. Tell people how to find the church.
Hey, man, first off, love you guys. Thanks, you guys, for always having me. You can find us at 5300 St. Clair Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44103. Doors open at 11, services at 11:30. You can find us on www.reachchurchcle.com or find us on Instagram, Reach City Church Cleveland. Yeah.
There was so much unnecessary info in there. Could you give us the full zip code with the dash? And
I actually don't know that. Talk the postal one.
Yeah.
We in Cleveland on 53rd and St. Clair, y'all. Pull out. There you go.
You can also just look up Reach City Church.
Yeah.
But not the one on the west side.
Okay.
Because we
Good
come up.
heavens.
We know people have gone there. But like, I went to the church. I'm like, that's not our church. That's what came
He's like,
up.
where are you?
Cleveland.
Pastor Nix, where are you?
No wonder you give the zip code.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, that'll do it for this week's edition of Mornings with Brian. We'll see you next week.
Serving Sandusky.